acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles. That I'm in my element, it's evident that there's levels to the game. All those nights I got there, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. Snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. But known for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babble if they try to dabble in it, and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forced through the fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding. You do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center. Word to Spike Lee. And God came in the nick of time. They think I'm crazy, but I might be. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. We beating the odds just to sum it up. You know it's a rap, never waistlines, and I'm cutting the weight like a tummy tuck. That mean I'm about to give it out right now. You see what's coming down the line, I never pipe down. I give 100% and be trying to stun on my enemies. In my element is crazy as the mic shine. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Never switch up. 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 Keep that same energy. I'm in my element.
Yeah. Salute ATP. What it do, man? Another segment of Read the Ring in the book. Shout out. Clap it up for yourselves, man. Appreciate you guys being in here today, man. Great boxing last night. Great fights. We got a lot to talk about, guys. So, find your seats, man. Get yourself a drink. Get yourself a snack. Do what you do, man. The panel will be open today pretty early. I'm gonna put that link out pretty early. This is a Sunday Fun Day. This is about building with you guys. So shout out to all my panelists, all the people who with the great takes on the sport. Definitely hop up today. This is the day for those kind of conversations. So yesterday is what it is. It's in the past, man. In the books, Bam Rodriguez able to go ahead and lock down a great performance against Antonio Vargas. There was some adversity earlier in the early rounds in that fight. Just a little bit of adversity. Antonio Vargas, of course, a game Olympian, the champion. We should have expected that from Antonio Vargas. We'll talk about that, right? Because the overshadowing topic over this whole entire situation is Bam Rodriguez. Is he ready for Monster Inoue? And this is the big fight that Turkey Owl Sheik's been talking about doing. We don't get opportunities like this very often to see a number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, lineal undisputed champion, multiple weight class undisputed champion in Monster Inoue, and an opportunity for a young up-and-coming hungry lion like Bam Rodriguez, who's made it to the pound-for-pound list, top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I'm not too sure how those rankings are going to get changed up on the back end of that victory against Antonio Vargas. Rumors circulating that he'll probably be around a number 2 spot or something of that nature. So to see a number 2 versus a number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, such close as far as the weight classes are concerned, you don't get to see that all the time, right? So a huge opportunity here for Bam Rodriguez, but a bit fast-tracked. One might say maybe a bit fast-tracked for Bam Rodriguez. Is he being moved a little too fast? Sometimes, look, opportunity doesn't always fall into the timing of when you want it, but sometimes it's when it's time, it's time. And Bam looking good, doing what he's been doing up until this point. But Monster Inoue, in the latter years of his career, may be on his way out the door one way or the other, right? So Monster Inoue's trying to make decisions as to whether or not he's going to move up in weight to 126 and pursue another division to achieve some huge accolades in, or does he sit still at 122 and wait on Bam Rodriguez if Bam actually takes the challenge that's in front of him, an opportunity to cement more legacy, to be ranked the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, which is amazing. Shout out to the lower weight class fighters who've been impacting the sport in such a great way in the recent years. Bam Rodriguez getting an opportunity to not only beat the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, but also become a multiple division weight champion, an undisputed lineal champion. I mean, all these things on top of that, if you want to put the cherry on top of it, the biggest payday of his career potentially, right? Generational money for Bam Rodriguez if he goes ahead and he does this. So we'll talk about that. On the undercard of that event, there was some great fights on there. We saw Alif Nur Turhan fighting against Gabriela Tellez, Jose Benavidez fighter here. What a fight that was. Very close fight here. Alif Nur Turhan able to get that victory, but not without adversity. And when you look at Gabriela Tellez coming up in weight in real time to go ahead and compete against one of the biggest punchers in boxing today, Gabriela Tellez has nothing to hold her head down about. I think a lot of pundits in the space had Gabriela winning the fight. I had her, I believe, on my card winning the fight as well. I wasn't upset with the decision. I believe it was 6-4. Listen, these ladies have been showing up and showing out in boxing for the past couple of years, right? Being led by the Clarissa Shields, the Amanda Serranos, the Katie Taylors. These women have been just shaking up the sport here. So, look, 6'4", not crazy. Gabriela Tellez, looking forward to see her do more interesting things in boxing. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know if she stays in that weight class or she goes back down to where she normally competes at, from what I understand, somewhere around 126 pounds. So we'll see what she does. Alif Nur Turhan, though, we'll talk about her because we all know that Alif Nur Turhan is in the conversations of making the big fights with, Alicia Baumgardner or one of my favorite ladies in the game right now, Sweet Caroline Dubois, right? Alif Turhan looked at as one of the biggest threats to either one of these ladies. But did we see some holes in her game last night? A smaller fighter able to come up and expose some things about Alif Turhan. We'll talk about that as well. Arturo Cardenas versus Jordan Martinez, a rematch. You guys remember we saw them before. Very close fight. A lot of people had Jordan Martinez winning that fight, but the judges had it as a draw. This was an opportunity for these guys to run it back. It was such a great fight the first time around. The second time didn't fail. Very competitive fight, but who was going to make the adjustments? Arturo Cardenas looks like he made those adjustments. I mean, honestly, shout out to Robert Garcia, who's just constantly showing and improving on his name, on his brand. And he's becoming something of a phenom himself. That gym is just pushing out, pumping out great fighters, from obviously Bam Rodriguez, Arturo Cardenas showing improving, Virgil Ortiz, Raymond Morataya. I mean, the list goes on and on and on when it comes to Robert Garcia and what he's been able to do with that gym. Arturo Cardenas able to show us that he has some wrinkles to his game. Very disciplined jab, great straight punches, good defense, great high guard, applied that pressure, imposed his will, and was able to pull that victory up over Jordan Martinez. Other great fighters on the main card. Unfortunately, the undercard, the prelim card, did not get televised. It is what it is, right? But Adrian Rodriguez versus Elias Montoya Terraza put on a great performance. 2 rounds, right? 2 rounds. Adrian Rodriguez had a decent first round, but shout out to Elias Montoya Terraza, who was able to process the data and just really got Rodriguez out of there. And that's what it's supposed to be. If they don't belong in there with you, get them out the way, right? So that's what was on the card. But I think the main conversation is going to be about this Antonio Vargas, Bam Rodriguez fight, of course. We'll talk some about Alif Nur and Turhan. Also in the news right now, the WBO has made their position on Devin Haney clear at this point. So at first, guys, we were balancing out. We were wondering what the WBO was going to do with Devin Haney on the back end of Jay Prince locking in opportunity for Keyshawn Davis by getting him placed as the number 1 mandatory, ranked him number 1 in the WBO rankings, right? I mean, listen, we don't got to get into the conversation about sanctioning bodies, how they move, whether it's disgusting, whether it's ethical, or what, all those things. We can't do this every show, right? So we, at some point or another, we got to deal with it as is. And as it is right now, Keyshawn Davis is ranked number 1 in the WBO rankings, and we're wondering if it's going to be a mandatory. Well, if you listen to the WBO standpoint, you'd have to believe that Keyshawn Davis indeed has been made Devin Haney's mandatory. And that being said, Devin Haney faced with some real difficult decisions right now as he's been cornered in between a rock and a hard place. Does he pursue the Shakur Stevenson fight at 144-pound catch weight, a fight that pundits in the space are split on as far as how they feel about the fight? Some people feel like make the fight. Other people feel like it's not the right time for the fight. Wait, don't put an asterisk next to the fight. As we've spoken on this platform many a times, we had Mickey Bay on here, my brother, Blue Blood Sports TV, and obviously the regular panel who've all express our opinions on where we sit on this conversation. But right now, more importantly, Devin Haney is being faced with reality. And the reality is, do you make the fight with Shakur Stevenson right now? Or do you protect your legacy at 147, hold on to that belt and make that Keyshawn Davis fight happen? You got to give Jay Prince his flowers. Forget about all the outside opinions. Jay Prince has definitely positioned himself in a great high ground over Devin Haney right now, to where either way he wins. You want to fight Shakur, big money for me, big fight for Shakur. Let's get it done. That also puts Keyshawn Davis in a position to fight for a vacant WBO title. Who would be that opponent? I think we could speculate and argue a great argument for Brian Norman Jr. coming off of a great performance, dominating performance, was already ranked so high in the WBO rankings. You'd have to believe it'd be between Keyshawn Davis and Brian Norman Jr. for a vacant WBO title. Or does Devin Haney push the Shakur Stevenson fight, kick the can down the road a little bit, allow Shakur Stevenson to acclimate, be active at 140, defend, unify his title in that division, make some fights down there, build himself up to where he can actually fight the fight at 147? Devin Haney, on the other hand, pursuing his aspirations of accomplishing legacy goals at 147, fighting Keyshawn Davis and whatever else rolls out on the back end of that, right? So we got a lot to talk about today, guys. Go ahead and lock in, put it in the chat. Of course, as you're stepping into the building, take a moment, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hold on one second. Let me just see. I'm seeing we're having trouble on Facebook. Okay, Facebook is giving me some problems. Let's just do that. Boom. Let's just keep it simple. Okay, save changes. Okay, great. As we're stepping into the building, take a moment, hit the like button, of course. Support the grind. All super chats are appreciated. On the bottom, scrolling on the bottom of the screen, you see the Cash App there. We're always looking forward. The Cash App is honestly more ideal. That's what I'd rather have is a Cash App. So feel free to support in any way that you can. Put that color in there. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, and we can get the conversation going. Let me go ahead and say what's up and salute to everybody who's in the building. Shout out to Emil Hamad 5461 in the building, a member of the channel right now. Says RTR, read the ring. Let's go. No doubt. Winston McFarland in the building says, where you at, man? Yeah, I was a little late. I was like 2-3 minutes late, man. Bear with me, man. Bear with me. Mine Yours in the business says, salute Claymore, the Rain Man. Salute to you, family. What's good with you, though? Let's see here. Aladaya Go 619. I hope I'm saying that right. Let me see. Aladai Go 619. I hope I'm saying your name correct for you, family. Excuse me if I miss speaking on your name, but I appreciate you being in the building, man. Thank you, man. He says, I think Bam should fight Takuma Inoue next. That's definitely a legitimate option for Bam Rodriguez. But listen, Aladaigo, I would ask you if there is a time restraint on this fight with Monster Inoue, being that Monster Inoue is in those last chapters of his career. Does he risk losing out on the biggest payday on a huge legacy fight against Monster Inoue, or does he roll the dice on himself? Does he bet on himself and say, you know what? It is what it is. I am where I'm at. Opportunities knocking. Not everybody gets afforded these opportunities. Maybe we just roll right into the negotiations with Monster Inoue if Turkey Al-Sheikh is interested in putting that money up and make that fight happen, right? Something to think about. Let me know what you think, and feel free to hit the link a little bit later as well so we can get on the panel and have a great conversation. Drew DH2KG in the building says, Clay's one of the best voices in the boxing space. He would be great ringside. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, family. I appreciate you, man. Big Mason says, Clay, what's good? Chat, what's good, man? What's good with you, man? GG Champ in the building says, Kerr don't want the fight. Dev, go fight. Go get the Keyshawn fight. Yeah, man. Listen, sometimes you got to deal with it the way it is, man, right? I mean, it is what it is, man. Whether you want, however we want to look at it, make the fights that are available to make when you're trying to force, push forward on a certain fight, no matter what, by any means necessary. A pundit like me is going to ask why. I'm going to start asking that question. And I don't want to do that to throw shade on any fighter, but I'm going to say, man, when you got a fighter who doesn't necessarily want to fight you right now, and for whatever it's worth, he is a smaller fighter. How about this? For the people who want to contest whether or not Shakur Stevenson is smaller or the same size as Devin Haney, what Shakur Stevenson is undeniably, and this is not for debate, is a fighter who is currently campaigning at 135 at 140 pounds. This is a fact, and Devin Haney is a fighter who is currently campaigning at 147 pounds. So just visually on the aesthetics of everything, pushing to fight a fighter who's campaigning at 135, 140, no matter what the fighter has said in the past about his ability to move up and compete in higher weight classes. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, being able to compete in higher classes doesn't mean that that's what you're choosing to do right now with your career. We watched Devin Haney compete and campaign at 135, 140 underneath the scrutiny of the boxing space, accusing Devin Haney of being a weight bully. In other words, Devin Haney probably could have competed at a higher weight class, but his plans, his trajectory, his road to being undisputed, to being one of those fighters, was to take his time, campaign at 135, campaign at 140, and then, by the way, gradually move up to get to 147. He didn't just jump from 140 to 147. He took that 144 tune-up against Jose Ramirez and then rolled into a fight with Brian Norman Jr. at 147. So the question isn't and shouldn't be whether or not Shakur can or cannot. The question is it in Shakur's plans to or to not be at 147 right now, right? I mean, I think that's what it's gotta be. That's what it has to be, because otherwise now we're pushing, moving, and we're not really respecting what the fighters are here to do. And on top of that, you're leaving room for an asterisk next to a fight like that, to where Devin Haney may not be able to get the complete recognition and the accolades he probably wants on the back end of beating Shakur Stevenson, if there could be a narrative out there that Shakur was moved before he was ready to compete in a certain division. So sometimes patience is a virtue, and sometimes you got to wait on it. If Shakur was willing to do it, so be it, but he's showing enough resistance right now at this point to where I think it's fair to say Shakur is not interested in making a fight at 147 right now. And on top of that, you got Keyshawn Davis right there in front of you, looking to fight you, made his move up to 147, calling you out, adamantly making an argument that he wants that fight next. He's on video confronting Bill Haney about making the fight. On top of that, the move's been made by Jay Prince to put him as a mandatory for your WBO title 147. Very difficult to argue against that. Anything past that, if you keep on pushing towards Shakur, no matter what Shakur says, then more narratives are going to start coming to the surface, and they're going to be legitimate arguments to be made one way or the other. I won't get into all those arguments because I don't feel like shaking up the chat right now. Maybe we'll do it when the panel comes up, but I'm just saying you leave room for doubt, man. If you open the door, right, idle minds, idle hands become the devil's playground. Be careful what you wish for, right? Be careful what you wish for. Curtis Robinson in the building says, Mr. Big Play, blessing. Shout out to Mr. Big Play. And I think he said what's up to me too. Curtis said facts, Clay. There we go. Fly frequency in the building. My Aki in the building, man. Hit me with the salam. I believe he hit me with the salams. If he didn't, I'm gonna hit him with the salams. Walaikum salam. My brother Fly frequency in the building. Oh, he already hit me with the assalamu alaikum. So walaikum salam, like I said. Rahmatullah. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you, fam. Let me see who else is in the building here. Mr. Big Play Bray says, I understand if Shakur Stevenson doesn't want the fight at 147 or 144, but what I don't understand is why Shakur Stevenson is dismissing Foster 135 or 140. That's my problem with Shakur Stevenson. I mean, I don't know if he's I'll be honest, that's another thing, right, Mr. Big Play? We don't know that he's dismissing anything right now. We don't know he's not entertaining multiple fights right now. You know, one thing about it is some fighters put all their business out on social media. Others like to keep their business negotiations and on the hush hush. They like to make sure all the details are ironed out. They like to make sure everything makes sense, all the money is in place before they make a formal announcement. I mean, to this day right now, we are all operating under the idea that Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney are Zuffa fighters. And we still haven't gotten the actual confirmation from Zuffa or the fighters themselves as far as where those rumors lie, as far as one side of the spectrum being truth, the other side being a lie, and whatever exists in the middle and how that looks. So not everybody's communicating to us about what's really going on in their careers via Twitter or any other social media platforms. So we don't know that Shakur Stevenson in real time isn't looking to fight O'Shaquie Foster or entertaining to do that, whether it be 135, 140, or whatever it may be. We don't know that Shakur Stevenson is not entertaining negotiations right now with Devin Haney at 144. We don't know that Devin Haney isn't entertaining a real fight with Keyshawn Davis right now at 147. We don't know that these guys aren't going to fight each other at all, and that Devin Haney, like my co-host Angelo Reyes once said before, could be entertaining fighting in a Maniana Stanionis to get himself a lineal title. Maybe he's not even thinking. Maybe he's got a unification that he's negotiating right now that may trump the Keyshawn Davis conversation. Maybe Shakur Stevenson is talking about going to 147. Maybe he's changed his whole entire mind and said, you know what, I can compete at 147 because with Zuffa, they want me at 147. So maybe that's where I need. We have no idea what's going on with these conversations, right? At the end of the day, patience is the virtue, is the missing element of these conversations, because as boxing fans, we're on the outside for sure, and we're trying to look in. And nowadays, we're trying to look in through some tinted windows and some high military fences, right? So it's not even there for us to really read in an absolute accurate way. We can only speculate, but it's fun speculating for sure. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Shout out to Sizzle LeBlue in the building. Sizzle LeBlue, he got attacked. So I'm assuming that's my brother 2 Cents. That's what I want to believe. I want to believe that's 2 Cent in the building. Not 2 Cents, the female, but 2 Cent. That's what I want to believe it is. But Clay, shout out to Sizzle. You got a rant, so I definitely know you. And 2 Sizzle's too close to 2 Cents, right? It is what it is. Let me see. The Libra in the building. So I got Fed West IO Fed in the World Cup. Man, bro. These referees, bro, right? They trying us, but we still in the bracket. We still got a chance to make something happen, right? But man, diabolical. It is what it is. Shout out to my brother, man, my Zoe in the building, man. Let me see here. Let me see. Drew DH2KG says, will Turkey pay for Devin versus Keyshawn? Well, look, that's the other part of the conversation, right? According to Bill Haney, on an interview he did, the Keyshawn Davis fight was not a Turkey Al-Ashik fight. That'd be a top-ranked fight, right? So Turkey's interested in what he's interested in. He wants to make that super fight. Turkey's all about super fights, right? But, super fights are all about the timing, man. You know what I mean? A great meal is all about that slow cook at times. You know what I mean? You could have a great idea, put everything in the pot, but if something needs 3 hours to slow cook in order for it to be tender and for the flavors to be where they need to be, and you're trying to rush it inside of an hour, 45 minutes to an hour and a half worth of cook time, well, the meat might be tough, the flavors might not be there, and you might not have a great review on what the meal is. A roast, certain dishes require a slow roast, you know what I mean? A nice 275 to 325 temperature. Take your time, let it cook. Stop opening the oven and closing the oven, opening the oven and closing the oven. You're ruining the temperature all around it. You're ruining the stew. You're ruining the breakdown of the meat in a way that you don't need a knife, where you could just cut through the meat with a spoon if you wanted to, or you could sit there and pull out your steak knife and be slicing through a tough ass roast and try and, make lemonade out here, right? With those lemons you just made. Time is imperative. Timing is imperative with a lot of these big fights and how they roll out, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm always going to push for the patience over here and in the right timing, and always push for make the fights that are there for you to make, because on top of making big fights, ladies and gentlemen, activity is also super important for these fighters, right? Activity is ultimately the end all be all with a lot of these fighters. You know what I mean? Don't find yourself sitting on the sideline, not being active in the spirit of making the biggest fights, because if you're fighting once every 12 to 18 months, then your actual skill set takes a blow. And then we miss out on seeing the best version of you that there is. And as boxing fans, we don't want that to happen either. So we got to balance it all out. Shout out to Bill Haney. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to Shakur, Jay Prince, Keyshawn Davis, all these guys that are involved in this crazy love triangle, crazy conversation. I hope at the end of the day, what doesn't get sacrificed, no matter what, is the activity. We want to see all you guys in the ring, right? And let's make sure that happens, man. Cut Creator in the building says, shake up the chat for sure, man. No doubt, man. Shake it up for sure. Let me see who else is in the building here. Sam from Jersey in the building. But, of course, my brother from another out from Jersey says, salute Claymore Rain. Let's go. Sunday pop-up. 100%, man. Sizzle LeBlue says, Bride, neither guy is in division. Shock is a 30-pounder, and he said he'll fight both. Don't hear what he doesn't say. True. I'm cool with that. My brother Tap in the building here says, let's see here. I don't know. He might be trying to clown me. You know, Tap is always ready to jump in here, and he's a big cheerleader for Devin Haney. He just wants to see Shakur get his ass whooped by any means necessary, right? So that's what he says. By any means necessary, Shakur, I want to see your ass whoop. You better not run away from this ass whooping. Shakur is a double talking clown. His word holds no weight, and Clay's a cheerleader for that clown. He's been in these YouTube series defending this clown with his life. Shake my head. Oh, Tap. Tap. Oh, I'm shaking my in these streets, defending it with my life. I've been putting my life on the line. Don't let my wife hear that, bro. You know what I mean? Let's see. Drew DHUKG says, are they Zuffa fighters or Zuffa promotions like Canelo versus Crawford? 100%. Drew, 100%. That's the question. And we got to get those answers as well. But, you know, one thing I know for sure, two things for certain. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. The people who hold those answers are going to deliver those answers at the right time that benefits them, that suits their narrative and suits what they're trying to put together. And, you know, we can speculate, and that's all we got is speculation until they announce it in official capacity, right? It is what it is. Winston McFarland building says, since Kerr wanted Devin to meet at 144, why is he okay with Shock jumping to 140 instead of meeting at 135? Okay, Winston, I think that's a fair question, right? But I think there's a difference here that we have to be aware of in as far as O'Shaquie Foster is the one who's pushing his willingness to go to 140, right? He wants that fight with Shakur Stevenson by any means necessary. Shakur Stevenson is not really interested in fighting O'Shaquie Foster. We have to understand these fighters who are calling out Shakur Stevenson's aren't fights that Shakur Stevenson is calling for right now. Even with Devin Haney, for example, right? Making the fight with Devin Haney at a catchweight of 144 is something he might be willing to do, but it doesn't necessarily mean he wants to do it next, right? I mean, there's just so many different intangibles. We don't have our finger on the pulse of everything going on here. So he may very well be like, listen, I'm willing to fight Devin Haney, but maybe first I want to get this O'Shaquie Foster situation ironed out. Maybe first I want to unify with Dalton Smith or with, Gary Antoine Russell. Maybe first I want to fight against Raymond Morataya on the back end of this fight he has coming up here against Robson Conceição and see if I can get me a lineal title. Maybe he has other things planned, and maybe they don't happen in the order that, the people who like to dictate the terms and conditions on how he approaches his career wanted to roll out, right? So as far as Kerr meeting at 144, listen, this is him answering the call, right? You guys want this super fight with Devin Haney. I think that's a fight that will be great when the right time is. But, if you guys really want, if there's some money behind it and the machine wants this fight to happen right now, here's where I'm willing to meet, right? I'm not willing to go all the way 147. I'm willing to meet at 144 to make it happen. But then on the back end of that, you got Keyshawn Davis, who's looking to make a fight with Devin Haney. He's positioned himself. He's moved himself accordingly with the WBO. Jay Prince was able to make him a mandatory. Maybe Shakur Stevenson decides, you know what? Before I fight you, Devin, I'm not going to get in the way or undercut my brother on getting a fight that he deserves, that he's earned by moving himself in position. So, answer that question first. You know what I mean? Are you going to vacate that belt so my brother Keyshawn can become a champion and move on with his career and become a two-weight class champion? Or are you going to fight Keyshawn? And on the back end of that, maybe me and you can figure out what we're going to do next. There's so many different parts to it. Fans will be fans. But, the fighters have to, protect what's most important. That's the home base. The home base conversation has to always be the most important priority on top of the list. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Curtis Robinson says, again, all business is done off social. I keep hearing that's what they say, man. Let me see. Tap says, we do know that Bill and Devin already said Shakur a liar. Okay, Tap. Tap, man. Don't, you try to make it look like I'm shaking my pom-poms, but, man, your pom-poms are You got some real pom-poms. I think you're dismissing how profound your pom-poms are at times, that you find yourself in these chats on this one side of the conversation all of the time. Very rarely do I hear you riding the fence. It is what it is. Fly Frequency says, Clay, Devin asked Shakur, Devin asked Shakur, was he negotiating behind the scenes when he said sign the contract at 135? Listen, okay, fine, right? Did that fight ever come together at 135? Did it get negotiated, or did it really happen through business? I mean, listen, nobody's perfect. I'm not here to defend every move Shakur's ever done, right? That's not what this is about. But I'll say this. Number one, yesterday's price ain't today's price. Yesterday's conversation doesn't make sense today. When we grow, when we have experience, when we mature, we realize things and we move accordingly, and we evolve as human beings. We don't stick to one certain thing. We evolve into the best versions of ourselves, or we try and aspire to evolve into the best versions of ourselves every single day. So whatever happened at 135, 2 years ago is what happened 2+ years ago at 135. Today, what we're dealing with is a fighter who's become number 3 on the pound for pound list, who's achieved huge accomplishments, become a 4-weight class champion, a 2-time lineal champion. He's just in a different conversation, in a different tier of conversation altogether. And Devin Haney, rightfully so, has also evolved into an accomplished fighter, a multiple division fighter, and a former undisputed lineal champion with in his own right. It's a different negotiation in a different place. We got to be able to evolve and move past and deal with real-time data. And I'm going to tell you guys, real-time data is more important than the other data when it comes to these conversations. In other words, yes, there was these conversations that happened years ago, but what's more important and what's going to feed your position as far as reading the ring and understanding what you're looking at is operating off the real-time data. And what the real-time data is saying is there are certain intangibles involved in the conversation as far as Keyshawn Davis, as far as the WBO mandatory, as far as the WBO positioning on Devin Haney's current position as champion in that division, as far as Shakur Stevenson, where he's campaigning out options that he has, money that's on his side of the game, what he's willing to do. Devin Haney, as far as what he wants versus what he can do on the back end of a lot of negotiations falling to the side. We watched Rolly Romero fall to the side due to money. We watched Lewis Crocker fall to the side due to Eddie Hearn saying that Devin Haney's priced himself out. He cannot afford Devin Haney's price point in order to make the fight. You have Ryan Garcia, who's fell out of negotiations or fell out of even entertaining fighting Devin Haney next on the back end of excessive testing or efficient testing, if you want to say that, where Ryan Garcia doesn't feel like moving above or beyond any compliance issues that the athletic commissions give him. In other words, whatever the athletic commissions or the sanctioning bodies provide as to where he's supposed to be on testing, that's as far as he wants to go. He doesn't want to go past any of those points on, for the benefit of giving Devin Haney peace of mind before fighting him. So that fight has fell through. I mean, there's always super fights that could be made. We talked about it. Devin Haney could find himself a ticket or talk to the promoters of the Xander Zayas, Jerron Boots Ennis fight and find himself right there on the outside of the ring and have a moment like Jerron Boots did with Virgil Ortiz, or like Conor Benn had with Shakur Stevenson, or Shaqy Foster had with Shakur Stevenson, and he can step into the ring and he can challenge the winner of that fight at 154 and do some real legacy accomplishing things. He can call out that fighter and have a unified super welterweight title on the line, potential, who knows what can come out on the back end of that, right? But I don't think Devin Haney wants to be moved before he's ready to 150, before he's ready to move to 154, just like Shakur Stevenson doesn't want to be moved before he's ready to move to 147. Keeping in mind, of course, that people will try to throw in the air that Shakur Stevenson, right, said he could beat Devin Haney or compete at 147. Well, Devin Haney said he could beat Xander Zayas and compete at 154. I don't see the pressure for Devin Haney to move to 154 before he's ready to go. It's not about defending any one particular fighter, but I do have to speak towards the hypocrisy. I can find arguments on either side of this thing. It's all about what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want, who you love, who you don't love. That's where you're going to find your position as far as what you support and what you don't support. But I think at the end of the day, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. everybody, you know what I'm saying, has a right to operate what's in their best interest, period, right? There's these arguments that Devin Haney's been dealing with his whole entire career from his detractors about how he's moved in his career, how he's a weight bully, how he comes up 25 pounds on the night of the fight. Listen, I'm not here to throw anything in anybody's face. I'm just saying at the end of the day, what suits you is what you're going to do. As a boxing fan, let's be concerned about the fights that can be made. And, you know, the fights that can't be made, man, they can't be made. Not right now. At least we got a fighter who's saying we'll fight later. You got some fighters like Gervonta Tank Davis who's saying we ain't never going to fight. Why should I fight you at all? Right? I mean, listen, man, it could be worse, I guess, is what I'm saying, right? GG Champ 1568 in the building says, you are right. Each fighter has their own plan. 100%. I respect each fighter's decision to do as they please with their career. You got to. I'm not naive. Let's not be naive to think I'm going to get every fight. Boxing is a business. It is what it is, man. I mean, even with Gervonta Tank Davis, as much as, you know, I've wanted to see Gervonta Tank Davis in so many fights, one thing I've always said very clear from the beginning is if he don't want the fight, if he like it, I love it. You don't want the fight, I'm on to the next one. Right? This is why this channel doesn't get caught up in these long-winded conversations that last for months and months and months and months. We can get on a topic, speak on a topic, get to the end of it, and then we can move on to another topic. We don't have to keep beating a dead horse. You know, Tank doesn't want to fight Shakur. I'm good. We've moved on. Shakur has done great things after this whole entire fight. He's defeated Teofimo Lopez. He's collected another title. He's collected another lineal championship. And he has way more in front of him than he ever did behind him. So when Tank Davis feels like returning, he can push it. He's a fighter who has that much weight and leverage in what he wants. Then we can entertain that fight again, right? But he's stated clearly he's not interested in that, and I'm okay with that. It's not the end all be all. There's a lot of fights out there that can be made, man. We just got to be, you know, we got to be fans who have some critical thinking skills we're willing to apply to what's going on and stop taking these fighters' career and their personal journeys so personal and getting so connected on an emotional, spiritual way when we don't spend with them. We don't break bread with them. They're not taking care of our families. You know what I mean? And they're not supposed to, but it's not that deep, right? It's not that deep. Why? If your emotions have been tapped into and you feel like something diabolical is happening, you need to audit your feelings and say, why am I allowing this to take me into this space? I'm a grown man. That's another grown man. How am I in a place to where I'm cursing somebody out on the internet or accusing them or saying, how am I in this place where I'm so emotional over another man's journey? It's too deep, in my opinion, right? Mr. Big Play Bray says, I can respect that, Clay. I just read we was going in a different direction. I can wait till he makes his fight, then call him out. Yeah, I mean, that is what it is, man. Shout out to my brother. Said, when West Side, we Flair. Well, he said brother, but he really meant to say Flair. Flair, oh, you know what I'm saying? Sizzle Blue says it's the French 2 cents, Clay. No doubt. Yes, man. To sizzle les bleus. To sizzle les bleus. I got you, brother. Let me continue to go down here. I am going to put the link out here because I'm very interested. I'll put it out right now, to be honest with you. I'm very interested in how you guys feel about everything that happened last night. And let's not forget about Bam Rodriguez and Antonio Vargas, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're sitting here talking about Devin Haney. I know it's the biggest topic right now in the community. Everybody wants to see how this plays out, but you know, Bam Rodriguez had a great performance last night. He got confronted with a little bit of adversity early. We saw Antonio Vargas able to hit him with some good, clean punching. A lot of that pivoting, a lot of the footwork of Antonio Vargas was neutralizing some of the approach of Bam Rodriguez that's normally very successful at 115, at 118 against Antonio Vargas. He had to fight for it a little bit more and kind of figure it out. We saw Antonio Vargas get put down twice, ultimately stopped on the second knockdown. But the first knockdown, we watched him survive, get knocked down early in that round, and ultimately get knocked down early in that round. Hold on, make sure the camera is okay. I got a text message. It is what it is, right? So let's talk about all those things. I'll throw the link up in a second. Let me see what else is going on. Glove triangle. Yeah, cut creative for sure, man. Sanford Jersey says, why Shakur got to be a clown for? He put on for 130. Yeah, it's emotions. Whenever you hear, Sam, whenever you see somebody take it to that point and start calling people clowns, what they're saying is they're upset. And for me, it's like, that's where it gets to a little point where I'm just like, it's beyond the conversation. Now it's about emotional control, mental health. It's a lot of things involved in that, right? Some people are emotionally unstable and they can be triggered by anything. Anything can get them in their feelings, and what they're comfortable with doing, and what they reach towards. Their first instincts every single time is to become belligerent, right? They become belligerent. They become uncouth, right? they become unhinged. You know what I'm saying? And before you know it, they're jumping into all kinds of just mental health bags of, reacting in a mentally unstable way, where it's like, damn, how did he become a clown? You don't know him. Why is he a clown? And why am I a clown? You don't know me, right? But I got to be patient, because if I'm going to sit here and if I'm bold enough to talk about mental health, then I also have to be patient myself and acknowledge mental health and what it really means, which is, you might have a chemical imbalance. I'll stay away from you. I don't want no issues like that. And I know people with mental health, that's what people who just pop up on you with events and stabbing you up, shooting you, and doing weird shit in the name of some fighter who doesn't even know they exist. So you got to be aware and cautious of them. But I do have patience and a little bit of empathy with somebody who can't control their mouth, even on a keyboard, right? Because in a keyboard, you got to put some thinking into the keyboard. So you got to think to yourself before you type out the craziness that what am I doing? And you pull back and you delete it. But when you take it as far as to hit enter and send, then we know that, therapy is there for you. If you have insurance, you have a job, check into your insurance policy. They offer a lot of mental health amenities in there. It's a small copay most of the time to sit in front of a therapist and tell them why you're mad. You pay him a $25 deductible. He sits with you within an hour. You get to talk about your mom and how she abused you or something, or how your father abandoned you, or, whatever it is that's afflicting you in that way that has you not in control of your mouth. And you could be a better person after a good campaign of about 2-3 months of therapy. And you could look back at this dark time in your life and be like, man, that was a crazy time in my life, man. I was just so out of my mind. But now I can see I'm a better person, therefore even a better person for the people around me. I don't want to make this a mental health commercial. I'm just saying I'm praying for you, brother. And we all want you to get better, because we don't want people walking around here with that type. I'm sure you got kids and family. No, nobody likes to just see you being a little girl on the internet crying and accusing people of being a clown. And God knows what you're doing in your personal life and what you're driving your family through as they weather this storm with you, as you try to find yourself in this point in your life at your age, trying to figure out how to be less unhinged and more leveled and not such a female by nature to a degree, right? We want to be men, or we want to be strong women. We don't want to continue to expose ourselves on the internet this way, right? That was my little sidebar commercial. Get yourself some help, man. If you got good health insurance, use it, man. It's not just for your diabetes and your high blood pressure and all those other things from the lack of discipline that you have you carrying it that way. It's also for your mental health. Speak to somebody. Speak to somebody, man. Don't be scared. You don't got to even tell nobody, man. I think you sign something with the therapist where they're not allowed to tell your business. So you could sneak out the back door, tell your family you're going to go get something to eat, but you're really going to go get some therapy. I'll be right back. I'm going to the movies, but you're really getting ready to go sit in front of doctor, whatever his name is, to find out what issue you got with your mom. Don't be mad at your mom forever, man. She's not here forever, man. Enjoy her, man. Don't hold her accountable for everything bad in your life. You know what I mean? Take some accountability, brother. Cornelius Burnett in the building. Salute, brother. Salute, Cornelius. What's good with you, man? Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, K Gunner, what's good with you? K Gunner says, I'm for Abdullah to be the next American face of boxing. These other dudes are divas. I ain't mad at that. Adam Hurley in the building says, Zuffa is just like promoters setting up their guys with easy fights that they assume they'll win. Hey, man, nobody's perfect, man. I'm sure. Listen, there's a balance in building a fighter, right? So at some point or another, you also got to give them some easy looks, some easier touches to watch them develop in whatever way they need to develop. You know what I mean? But competitive fights benefits us a lot more probably at times than fighters. You know what I mean? Fighters, it benefits them on them becoming better fighters. But, as fans, we just want to see the best fight the best, right? By any means necessary. Donnie 956, I think there'll be more out of Zuffa Boxing once the UFC Freedom 250 event is over. So maybe this coming week for sure. That's what I believe too as well, Donnie 956. I think on the back end, I think they're dealing with a lot. And I think they want to roll out of Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson signing, something like that. You don't want to just do it in passing by, right? You want to do that You want to focus your energy and make the event count. And when you're trying to organize something like what's happening to later this evening, it requires all of your energy and all of your focus. There's a link, by the way. I just put the link in there, so you'll see it in the chat. Feel free to hit it, come up. Let me know what's on your mind, man. Let me see here. Gay, you doing a watch party for UFC? Nah, man. Unfortunately, I gotta go to work, man. So I gotta get rest. I won't be working at the time of the event, but I will be sleeping at the time of the event, so I can get up and go to work early in the morning. You know what I mean? Well, late, middle of the night, whatever, early in the morning, however you want to look at it, right? It is what it is. There's a link. Come up and talk your ish, man. I'm interested in everybody's opinion, especially on this Bam Rodriguez conversation. Believe it or not, man, it's something I'm really looking forward to speaking to my community about today, man. Shout out to Just So Sick in the building. Says Ryan don't have no fight no more. I guess not. That's another conversation. What's going on with Ryan and Oscar De La Hoya and Zuffa and Conor Benn and that whole entire, Zuffa is just Zuffa is going through some growing pains. And let's put that in perspective as well, because they're also doing so great in their own right, where you got to celebrate what Zuffa has been able to accomplish. But definitely when it comes to crossing that bridge with these sanctioning bodies, accomplishing some personal goals for some of these fighters like Conor Benn, or maybe even a Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, if that gets announced, or obviously a Jairo Pitaya, it seems like they're running into a lot of walls, man. And, the boxing space isn't embracing them as much as, I don't know if they even want them to embrace them that much, but it is getting in the way. So we got to see how that plays out. Let me see here. Dr. Carbone, 666 in the building, says, no, Boo-Boo started training with Boots. Not the other way around. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. Sizzle. Let me see. We continue to go down here. Man, you guys are going crazy in the chat, man. So much going on here. I'm just trying to catch the guys who I ain't see it. AK Crowder in the building. Shout out, says, blessings, brother Claymore, with the spiritual super chat. I appreciate you, man. Sam from Jersey said, Clay, let us know what you think is going to happen before this dominant win from Bam. What I thought, let me know what you think is going to happen after this dominant win. Okay, what's going to happen? Okay, we'll talk about that as well, man. We'll talk about all those things. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me go ahead and adjust it here. We got my brother Flyer Frequency. We got the Vandalorian in the building, man. I can't wait to get some insight on some of these topics. First of all, brothers, how are we doing today, man? Speak to me. What's going on with you, Blaze? How you feeling?
I'm doing well. Hey, Fire, man, tell Devin, man, to make it official that he fighting Keyshawn next, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Salute,
but I had to shoot my shot at the Hanos clan, but nah, the first thing first, man. Let's give Bam, man.
Wait, hold on, wait. Let's not do the breakdowns yet. Let me let everybody just say hello, and then I'm gonna come right back to you real quick. Just Flyer Frequency. Walaikum salam, rahmatullahi barakatuh, my brother, man. What's good with you, Ak? What's good?
Hey, man, I'm good. Everything good, man. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to hop up here real quick and talk about the Vargas and Bam fight. But who else is that there?
Oh, we got the Bandalorian, man. I ain't seen the Bandalorian, man. The Bandalorian don't got no type of icon or nothing, so I always feel like I'm rolling the dice whenever I'm bringing them up here, because you never know what's going to happen. I seen you the other night, Flyer, have a nice,
crazy.
Somebody came up there.
That was diabolical.
It was crazy. I didn't even know that was the first time I ever seen anything like that, so I didn't even know what I was looking at.
Man,
I thought I was looking at
AI.
I thought I was looking at like stock, like pigs or cows or some kind of animals being. I didn't know what that was.
I don't know what that was, man.
When I finally looked at it close, I was like, "Oh, I've never seen nothing like." I promise you, I've never seen nothing like that in my life. I don't even know what to make of it. I don't even want to talk about it too much. It was just crazy to see it in real time.
It was AI. I hope it was AI.
That's crazy, right? That they'd have something like that. Ooh, child.
They did a freaky deaky with the Pink Panther out there. Man.
That didn't even look like. It didn't even look like something that should be like sexually enticing. Like it was scary looking.
It wasn't natural. It was
natural. Horrific, right? It was horrific. Like it was like, whoa.
Hey man, I go through my trials and tribulations, and you see it, so you witness it, so you don't have to go through it, brother. You better, you better start vetting these cats, man.
100%, man. That was interesting, man. That was interesting, and I don't mean that in a good way. Shout out to the Bandalorian. Bandalorian, what's good with you, family? How are you feeling, man? What you got going on today?
What's good, fellas? You know what it is, Clay. Getting ready to beat up this concrete, man. Another day, but we blessed, so we ain't tripping, man.
All right, man. Take it one step at a time, man. So let's bring it back to Blaze, man. Blaze, we're going to talk about this fight last night, man. So I'm going to ask you, this is going to be an interview side type of panel, damn near. I'm going to ask you, first of all, before you get into the actual fight, going into the fight, Blaze, what did you need to see? What were you looking for? I think most people favored for Bam to win the fight, but what were you looking for? Me personally, when I go into a fight, there's things that I'm looking for, right? Especially in a fight when I know there's so many things on the back end of that fight that are going to happen. I'm looking for certain things, and I'm wondering, I've got questions going into it, and I'm wondering if those questions get answered when I watch the fight. So I'm going to ask you, going into the Bam Rodriguez fight, what were you looking forward to seeing? What did you need to see?
Well, one thing I'll be looking for when you're looking at, pound for pound fighters and fighters that are just top elite level is when you watch a lot of their tape, they mostly be able to impose their will on the fight. So they're able to be them. They do have fights where they have to make adjustments, and that shows high IQ where they have to make a serious adjustment against a stylistic matchup, but they ultimately find a way to ultimately dominate. So what I just expected the Bam is the Bam to be Bam, and Bam was Bam. I give respect to his opponent. I mean, he's a champion. He didn't get the belt by not fighting high level competition, and he from what I understood about him, he done been through some adversity. He done hit the canvas. He done bounced back up. So I thought it was going to be a tough opponent. What I liked was some of the pre-interview with Vargas. Vargas said that Bam moves a lot, and we're training for that. And you can see, that's what he trained for. But the only problem with Vargas is that Vargas was just simply trying to land punches, and he wasn't making Bam pay for being in front of him. He wasn't sitting on his punches. And I'm watching the fight again right now. I watched it last night, but what Bam identified early in the first round was, I can simply engage with this guy in the high guard and just take these angles, close by, and stay active on him and just land, power shot after power shot, clean and precisely. And ultimately, man, he slept him like he slept the last guy, Puma, with that left hand. That left hand got dynamite in it, and so I thought it was a spectacular performance, because what I thought with Bam is, some people say, oh, he gets hit too much, but I'm sure if he was to fight somebody like Inoue, with the stylistic matchup, he'll be a little more, well, not a little more, he'll be way more defensively responsible. This guy gave him no reason to be defensively responsible, because when he let his hands go, he was more trying to land punches and not hurt Bam. Like, there was times where he threw those flurries, those 4 or 5 combinations Vargas hit Bam with. And what I loved about that is that it would look like Bam was retreating or Bam was hurt, but Bam wasn't hurt. He was just backing up, getting his space, letting dudes shoot out his combos, and then he was, getting back to work. And so,
Yeah,
I just thought.
I agree with you, right? I agree with you. I think that Bam was definitely working. He was definitely using those angles. I love the way he spins off on the right. He gets up under that lead hand, especially when he's fighting somebody who's an orthodox fighter. He gets underneath that lead hand, spins off to the right, and he just lines that left hand up perfectly every time. Now, Antonio Vargas was doing a good job at first of catching those shots, right? So Bam was doing that, but Antonio Vargas was doing a good job of keeping that right hand up, right? Like, I'm not just going to let you spin around and catch me with those shots. And he was doing a good job of scoring. I thought he was winning the rounds. He was winning until he got clipped. I thought he was able to manage Bam in a way to where it was like, okay, so what's next? But Bam kept implementing the game, realizing that you can't keep this up. Eventually you're going to get hit. If you don't give me something that's going to get me to respect you, I'm going to eventually put this left hand on you.
Exactly, Clay. And that's the thing, is that the whole fight, Vargas didn't sell out on none of those punches. He didn't try to clear Bam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only way you gonna get somebody off you like that is you have to punch them hard. So that way they'd have to think about the punch coming. He's over here just trying to land punches. The commentators talking about it was like some amateur style. But it's like Bam is about to take 3 of your punches to hit you boom with this left to line it up. He was and at the end, you seen him throwing it. He was waiting to line it up, but he was getting that left off in the first round. So he just, like I said, it's just Bam is Bam, man. Honestly, I do got him at number 2 pound for pound right now, going up. And then, I really want to see him, go up to 122 and fight Inoue. Like, people
that's
the
next part of this conversation, right? We'll get into that.
But I'll land my plan right there.
Yeah, because definitely the next part is going to be what comes after this performance. So Flyer, going into this fight, man, I don't know if you had an opinion going into it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you picked Bam to win it. Most people, I think everybody picked Bam to win this fight, but you know, we knew that on the back end of this fight that this Monster Inoue conversation was floating over this fight, that it was all about, well, let's see what he does at 118, because 122 is where the real legacy is at. This is where the real big fight is at. So going into the fight, I mean, let me ask you this. I didn't ask Blaze this, but do you think before this fight with Antonio Vargas, did you already confirm in your mind that Bam Rodriguez is ready for Monster Inoue, or did you need to see more?
Well, I always thought that you know, he was a little too small and that he wouldn't really you know, he wasn't ready for Monster Inoue, and I still think I would have to pick Monster Inoue. You know, if they actually fought, you know, especially being that he's moving up. But going into this fight, though, I don't really get too deep into the 118-pound division or whatnot. So I wasn't too familiar with Vargas or whatnot. But somebody on my channel in the chat was telling me that he was going to get, that Bam was going to get dropped twice, and so that prompted me to go, you know, do my homework a little bit, you know, look at some highlights and look at some previous fights of this guy Vargas, and I thought he was okay. So I was thinking that, you know, he was going to give Bam a little more trouble than he actually did. He was touching Bam a little bit, but you know, I like the angles and stuff that I saw from Bam. It kind of reminded me of Lomachenko, you know, how he was, you know, getting around him and, you know, hitting him from, you know, punching him, you know, from the side and all of that while he's still facing a different direction. You know, I like the angles and all of that stuff that he was taking. But, you know, still, you know, just knowing that Monster Inoue is, you know, considering moving up to the next weight class, and Bam is trying to go up to the next weight class to fight him, you know, it still makes me think that the advantage is definitely going to be with Inoue. You know, I don't got him really beating Inoue.
Yeah, you feel like he's being fast tracked a little bit, right? Like he's not given enough time, or he doesn't have enough time to acclimate even to 118 to foresee him at 122 is a tall feat, right? Like, it's like, damn, man, he just ain't got the time to really kind of figure it out. Time ain't on the side of this fight. It doesn't seem like time is on the fight of this Inoue fight. It seems like it's barbecue or mildew for Bam Rodriguez, as far as like, you're either going to take this opportunity and make it happen, or you might miss it altogether. And obviously the big payday is on the back end of that. We don't discuss people's pay as much as other channels do, but we do acknowledge that that's a big factor in.
One thing, Play, I can say that I do appreciate about them smaller weight classes is that we not gonna be, you know, worrying about no catch weights and nothing like that, or no rehydration clause. But yeah, like you said, he got to go straight up there. You know, he don't really got time, because Inoue probably got that. I'm hearing that he might have maybe 2-3 more fights left or whatever before he, you know, think about ending his career or something. You know, so yeah, time is. Definitely a jump, yeah.
Mandalorian, man, I know your takes are always crazy, man. I've asked all the questions, you know, I mean, going into the fight, I'm wondering what you were looking for. I mean, was this fight going to influence the way you looked at the potential Monster Inoue fight, or were you already sold? Did 115 Bam already do enough to let you know that this guy's ready for Monster Inoue at 122? Or, you know, did you need confirmation, and in whatever those boxes were, did they get checked on the back end of this fight? What'd you think of the fight?
So I think I really agree, really more than anything, with Blaze take. Like Blaze, he almost said almost everything that I did, really, because I ain't really have no crazy high expectation with Bam. But a big thing I'm saying that I agree with Blaze about was that taking shots to land yours. See, I'm not a fan of that when fighters do that. But again, like Blaze said, though, fighters, I feel like they do that when they know that they can. You know, like, of course, everybody was, you know, Abdullah Pops, when he fights Sam Noakes, what you doing? You fighting this fight. You know, Pop Wally to Shakur, what you doing? You fighting to pay the fight. But if they feel it, when they tell themselves mentally, oh, I can take his shots, then it's cool. I'm going to go ahead and do that. A big one, Keyshawn. Keyshawn is one of them. Keyshawn going to take whatever punch coming at him in order to land his. So that is a thing that kind of got me with Bam. I wasn't surprised, like I'm saying, though, because, of course, on your show, Clay, excellent interview. Like, y'all got to look into it and all that. But of course, you know, Clay, I'm in Florida, so I'm used to Vargas. You know, he box lab down there in Carib. I done seen him fight plenty of times. I knew he was gonna come in, and he wasn't, for sure. Like he said, he wasn't gonna lay down. You know what I mean? But coming into it, the thing that got me was more so how was Bam gonna deal with that size? You know, that's what I wanted to see, and that's the one thing that kind of did get me. But you know, like I'm saying, I wasn't surprised at how Vargas performed. Even then, I didn't like the slapping. I do agree with what Blaze and Fly was saying. I don't like the slapping.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Dr. Eugene, how you doing today?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Dr. Eugene. We just coming off some great boxing over the yesterday. Some great boxing. We got the undercard as well that delivered as well. I thought the event was a pretty decent event though. But obviously the conversations about Bam Rodriguez, currently ranked number 4 in the pound for pound list right now. This fight was going to be a litmus test for the ultimate super fight between him and Monster Inoue. And so I'm going to ask you, like I've asked everybody else before we even get into what Bam should do next. Going into the fight, what were you looking to see? What did you need to see, you know, from Bam Rodriguez? Or like I asked everybody else, were you already sold on Bam? The 115 version of Bam already let you know that you wanted to see this fight with him and Monster Inoue? Or, you know, did you need to see something into the fight? And then did the fight accomplish that for you? Did it check those boxes for you?
All right. Hey, before I start cooking on that question, you gonna cover the ladies, correct?
Oh yeah, we got the ladies took it up yesterday for sure. Yeah.
All right. Just make sure. Hey, all right. So I'm high on Bam anyway, but if you notice, a lot of boxers are high on Bam too. It ain't just regular people. Now, did he do enough for me to say, yo, he got a fucking chance? Of course. He literally is a legend killer. He done beat hella legends already. This motherfucker took the training wheels off and hopped in there with fucking legends immediately, because that's just how it is in that weight class. Now, people are saying, I was watching shit on 2 Cents live. We was watching the fight. They were saying, yo, the way he getting hit, if Monster hit his ass with that shit, nah, blase blah. But you gotta understand, fighting Monster and fighting this guy, they different people. So he gonna come with a different strategy. I honestly think everybody was saying he could take that man punches. That's a fact. But also, if I gotta jump up weight classes, let me see if I could take this man punches. Let me, you feel what I'm saying? He didn't really go in there using a lot of defensive skills. He went in there and just walked that man down and beat on him till he hurt him. Other people were saying he is fighting him until he got his timing. He didn't go for no fucking timing. He kept chiseling on you till something finally broke. Once that shit broke, then he got him the fuck out of there. That's literally what he did if you watch the fight. So
I agree.
Yeah, it was just it was all high guard.
Hold on, Blaze. So I mean, at the end of the day, you were already there with Bam. You were already ready to see Bam with Monster. Anyway, is that what I'm understanding? And that fight just kind of confirmed what you already knew, or did the fight actually, did those moments, you know, actually let you know, like, okay, now I'm ready to see him against Monster?
I was already there, but okay. I was happy to see him get those punches. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah. He got punched by, quote unquote, a heavy-handed motherfucker. So if you getting punched by a heavy-handed motherfucker in a new weight class and he ate them bitches, everybody talking about, oh, he getting hit too much. I said, you're not getting hit too much. The only time you get hit too much is if when you get hit, it make you deviate from whatever you were doing. He never deviated. He never got hit, paused, took a step back. He never got hit, start blocking wild and shit. No, it didn't change his game plan for 1 millisecond. So that lets you know he eating them punches and he give zero fucks about them punches. So that confirmed to me he ready for Monster.
Is there, right? Like he's sturdy. He got the resistance. He can take the shots. He definitely can give the shot. So you went into that fight like, the only thing I'm wondering is when he get punched by the bigger punchers in these divisions, how's he going to deal with that? I know he got the skills. I know he got the IQ and the pedigree, but these are going to be bigger punchers than what we're punching on him at 115. So let me see how he deals with that. If he could check that box, then let's move forward and let's figure out our differences with Monster Inoue, right?
Basically, because he's not getting hit that many times. Ain't no way in hell his game plan is to get hit that many times by Monster. His game plan was to let me just see this, taking this dude power shots is probably equal to taking Bam jabs. So if I can eat these jabs from Monster, I'll be pretty good. So that's all it was. It's just a good training exercise.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate you, man. Hey, Toledo Treese in the building. Treese, what's good with you, man? What up, though? Yow. What's good?
What up, though?
Crazy, man. We doing good, man. We talking about this Bam fight right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where you were at with it. You're a very vocal person on your opinions. You don't really hide how you feel. So I don't know how you felt going into the fight, though. If you needed to see anything, and if you were waiting to see something from Bam, how you feel about this Inoue fight. But going into the fight, definitely share with us, man. What was you looking to see, and did that happen for you? Did you see what you needed to see?
I feel like I saw what I expected to see. I will say that. However, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not under the impression that I don't know. I feel like Bam in the Inoue fight is inevitable because when we think about it, it's just them two guys down there. Like when we really think about it, like who else do we hear name being brought up with those guys? Like I remember what was the MJ Magmadalioff guy was being brought up with, and everybody thought that he was going to be a viable challenger and all this nonsense, even though people knew better. Like we had the Martin Tapalises of the world. You feel me? Oh, that guy, he is in a way trouble. For me, Bam probably got it in a way, because it's like, what else is there? Like, what else is there for Bam to do down there, Clay? Am I tripping? Like he done beat the legend. He done beat all the legends. I just heard his man call him a legend killer. This is what he known for. You feel me? He say that he want to be out of boxing by the age of 28. He 26 right now? 25 right now? How old is Bam?
How old is Bam? That's a good question. And Bam is 26 years old. 26.
26. Bingo. He say that he wanted to be done with boxing by the age of 28. You feel me? So it's like, when I'm hearing that, it's like, really, this is the only thing for him to do is fight in a way. Now, right. Whether or not he win the fight, that's, I got to see the fight. But I will say that Inoue is prompt. If people telling me that Bam a puncher, Inoue is known to be getting dropped in fights by lesser guys than Bam. So I will say maybe Bam can't win the fight. It's just something I got to see at this point. Like, I don't know. Am I tripping? Has Inoue do by lesser guys than Bam, or am I crazy?
It's all about, when it comes to these punches and when it comes to people getting knocked down, it's all about, sometimes it's that weight class. It's about the punch, man. I don't think he's been in there. He's probably been in there with lesser skilled fighters than Bam, but has he been in there with lesser punch? I don't know. Time will tell that story, but it is what it is. Shout out to my brother Strap Up in the building, man. Strap Up with
What's up, brother?
Doing good, man. I see you in the cigar shop. You're doing your thing.
Man.
Enjoying
my Sunday, man. Wifey having karaoke or some shit at the spot. I had to get the fuck out of here.
She basically kicked you out the house. That's what she did.
Yeah, I kicked myself out.
Hey, man, that's what's up, man. You work hard, man. I see you enjoying yourself on Sunday right now. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying the fruits of your labor, brother.
Absolutely.
You caught these fights last night. Going into this, first of all, I'm not familiar with you. This is the first time I've seen you on the panel. So where are you on Bam Rodriguez before this fight? You know what I mean? As far as Bam Rodriguez a fighter, where are you at with your like?
Hell of a fighter, top 2, top 3, pound for pound, general consensus with that. I'm definitely in agreement with that.
Okay. So now the rumors start spinning for Bam Rodriguez. Everybody wants to see this Monster Inoue fight, and this is him at 115. They want to see him go up there to 122 to a fighter who's just decorated, multiple undisputeds, multiple lineal champions, and a current undisputed lineal champion at 122 with options on the table, right? Coming off his biggest fight of his career against Juto Nakatani, he can go up to 126 and go pursue things over there. But Turki Al-Sheikh, the money in boxing today in Saudi Arabia, super interested in this fight between Monster Inoue and Bam Rodriguez. But as far as you're concerned, as much accolades that you just gave Bam, because you recognize him to be number 1, number 2 in the world, top 3, top 5 at least minimum pound for pound fighter in the world, where were you before this Antonio Vargas fight on that fight? Was that a little too much? Were you like, I like him, but we doing, or was it, yeah, that's the next fight that makes sense to you? Where were you on that?
As far as the Inoue fight coming up
Right,
next,
the Inoue and Bam fight when he was at 115 before the Vargas fight.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was on the fence. I didn't know. I don't know. I'm 50-50. I'm in the middle. I wanted to see, crazy as it sounds, I wanted to see him take some punches. I wanted to see him. I wanted to see the punch resistance. I wanted to see the power consistently keep going up with him. That's what I wanted to see, and I saw that. He didn't really take, like my man said, I don't think he really took any big punches. He took some solid punches that maybe would have failed a lesser fighter than Bam. But I wanted to see him look like he looks, how we expect him to look, and that was vintage Bam Rodriguez, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, maybe it could have been a little bit cleaner depending on who's watching the fight and what you were looking for, but he looked like Bam to me.
I mean, you kind of answered the next question, which was, what'd you think about the fight, and did he deliver for you? Did he? I mean, because you had questions. You said it, right? You said, and one thing I was wondering is, he's got the skills. We don't got to argue about that and debate about that, but that punch resistance, this is boxing, you know what I'm saying? And the punchers run the sport, you know what I'm saying? I mean, as far as, at the end of the day, that's the threat. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder didn't bring all the skills, but that right hand made him a legitimate menace to anybody he got in the ring with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that boy had that boom in that right hand.
Right. It was like, he might not have everything, but don't get hit, though. While you talking about all that you've been doing since 9 years old, also keep your head off the line, because that might be your biggest issue that you got to deal with when you get in the ring with him. So Inoue has a decent knockout ratio. He's stopping his opponents. Didn't stop his last opponent, but definitely has earned himself a reputation to being who he is, man. We're not going to sit here and diminish or dismiss Monster Inoue's accomplishments and what he's done in the sport. Bam's going to have to be on his A game in order to pull this one off. This is a Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. This is a legacy. This cements Bam Rodriguez in boxing in a certain way, right? Like to accomplish something like this against a Monster Inoue.
I mean, I guess on the surface, maybe. I mean, I look at the dimensions, and initially you would think that, like, the size disparity, but if you look at them, they match up really well from a physical. If we look at the physical dimensions, the reach is the same. The height, they may be a half an inch apart in height, but they really, on paper, it looks really good. And if we're being honest, if you had to say who is the more flawed fighter out of Bam and Inoue, you would have to say Inoue. Now whether Inoue does these things because he feels like he can get away with them, right? Things like, backing up in a straight line, rushing in with the chin up, right? These are things that we see consistently from Inoue, and we have seen him drop at the lower weights too. We've seen him drop. So, this is something, in my opinion, to where I was kind of on the fence with it. After last night, I would go 55-45 Bam Rodriguez.
Oh, so you're leaning towards Bam to be able to take advantage.
Absolutely.
Okay. I like it.
Absolutely, because and he has the better I would say, he has the better team. He's got the better coaching. This is a fight that, it didn't just spring up out of nowhere. This is something that, they've been planning on and working on, and they've been in the lab breaking down every fight and saying, like, hey, this is what we see. Okay, and in this next fight, let's try to exploit that.
Right.
I gotta agree with him on that. I like that. I ain't heard nobody bring in the coaching. I agree with that, because we only really know Inoue's dad for Inoue.
Right.
Like, at least with Lomachenko dad, we see him do it with Usyk too. You feel me? So it's like, you see what I'm saying? I would say
I agree. Let's acknowledge Mr. Inoue for last year being trainer of the year, Ring Magazine trainer of the year. But the thing about it is, Inoue's father is the best trainer for Inoue, right? He's developed this system, right? So he might not be proven across the board with being able to replicate that with fighters that aren't his son. But he's achieved a certain amount of success with his son to where we got to factor in that that's part of what makes Inoue the monster, is the fact that he has a tried-true system from his father that's been infused in him ever since he put on a pair of boxing gloves, and that on itself is something to be celebrated. But without a doubt, I get you, man. Robert Garcia has earned himself a place in the conversation of the best trainer in
all
boxing
time,
today,
all time.
right? I mean, all time, right? You can rank Floyd Mayweather, all time.
You can rank them. You can rank. You can put them. You can put them. You can put them up there. You know, you could definitely put them up there. You know, the Garcia School of Boxing, man.
Yeah, it's producing a lot of great talent, man. And he's becoming, if he hasn't already become, if some people are in the dark about it, they're not going to be there too much longer. He's just becoming an undeniable reality check for anybody. When at this point, when you see a fighter, even if you don't know him, if you see Robert Garcia in his corner,
you can bet on him.
Your antenna goes up like, oh, I didn't even know Robert was in this conversation.
Right.
Like, now you dialed in and you're trying to see what this guy's going to do, because just from his presence, he's bringing that type of attention. I'm gonna come back to you, Strato, because I'm gonna go up to Just Blaze. I'm going to go up to Just Blaze on this one and say, okay, fine. We've seen what we've seen in this fight with Bam Rodriguez, right? We've seen what we had to see. But listen, guys, and this is for everybody on the panel, but I'm focusing on Blaze right now. The time clock is on this fight. There's a time clock on this fight. This fight isn't there for Bam to say, you know what, give me 2 more fights. Give me X amount number of fights. Maybe 1 more fight he can get. Maybe 1 more fight he can get. But I think even with that 1 more fight, at the end of the day, he's risking this fight just going away. The payday, the legacy, the opportunity to, you know, really separate himself in a way that's undeniable from the rest of the boxing space and become a #1 pound for pound boxer on the world if he beats Monster Inoue. What makes sense for Bam next at this point for you?
I mean, as a boxing fan, man, and then just keeping up, you know, we kind of keep up with the news and all of that. Is that can y'all hear me? Just want to make sure I hear me.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you muted himself. Go ahead.
All right, and so you see the reports. You see the reports with Turkey. You see them guys talking about the team's been talking about Inoue and Bam fighting after this fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Inoue obviously don't speak English, but he don't try to send any, you know, communication out to the United States or American world. And then Bam ain't a talker themselves, so. And both of them seem like they're trying to get close to the end of their career. So I'm hopeful as a fan that this fight is lining up. And then Bam did his job, because Bam moved up to his 3rd weight division, wrecked through, buddy, right? Didn't take no significant damage. Like, he took some punches, but didn't take no significant damage. He wasn't hurt at all at one time in that fight. And then it looks like he's lined up to get that fight with Inoue. I think both of them, as far as the competitors that they are, like, I see from the outside, people would be feeling like, oh, Bam need another fight. From what I've seen and from what all indications, I'm hopeful that the fight can happen next, right? With the money on the line, with Bam saying he wanted to retire early, young, and successful, with Inoue saying he don't got much left. But my thing with the matchup for me, this is one of those fights for me where it's like, I like both of them. I don't got a bias to where I'm leaning towards one towards the other, man, because I favor southpaws. I love what Bam does. I love what he got, that dynamite in his left hand, just like I like with Junto.
Right.
But, you know, there's something about Inoue, man. One thing about Inoue does, well, I like to say Inoue does what everybody wants their favorite fighter to do. You know what I'm saying? Inoue's highly active offensively, you know, has a violent jab, can box, and then is willing to engage. And even with the 2 knockdowns that Inoue got, when Nero and Cardenas knocked Inoue down, he was mixing them, and it was like they were punching for their lives when they threw those punches. They put everything into those punches and dropped Inoue. And Inoue just got up off the ground and turned up and got him out of there. And so I'm interested to see where we kind of know what Inoue is going to do. I'm interested to see Bam's game plan on how he times that range and times that spacing. He's not going to be able to walk in the high guard and walk down Inoue like he walked down Vargas. You know what I'm saying? But he has the boxing IQ, right? So it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I just really want to see it. And then it's kind of like Bivol and Bitter Biev when I land my plane. It's like, You see two fighters that are super dominant, and then you see when they get together, even with Inoue and Junto, you see the fight ultimately slow down, and it comes into a chess match for them guys to try to figure out how they need to get theirs off and what they need to do to succeed. But the thing with Inoue and Bam is we know that both of these guys would take the risk to knock each other out. You know what I'm saying? So they can box and they'll scrap. So this is just one of those fights where it's like, bro, this is a true super fight. Both fighters are in their prime. Both fighters are talking like they want to fight. And there ain't no indication that there's going to be any of these politics and all of that that's going to get in the way of them actually getting in the ring. And with Bam already being, what was he? Is he top? Is he 6 right now or 7?
No, he's number 4. He's number 4. He's right behind Shakur.
He's number
and
4,
I heard
exactly.
on the back end of this fight, I'm hearing rumors that Ring is going to push him up to number 2 on the list.
Exactly. And there you have it. And so that's what I was thinking. And as a fan, as a hopeful fan and on Ring, I'm thinking they do that. And if they do that, then I think that's more of me giving hope that it's all indications that they're setting up to put him at 2 to make the next fight, Monster versus Inoue. And you got a true ring card with the top 2 fighters, pound for pound, super fight. And I'll let my plan right here.
No doubt, no doubt. So, Dr. Eugene, I'm gonna bring that to you as far as what's next. I mean, I heard Robert Garcia on his post fight speak on in an ideal world, he wants Bam to get one more fight. He feels like, Bam did what he needed to do in there, but he just wants to make sure that, the resistance is there. That, that's what it seems to be Robert Garcia's concern is. I'm not worried about Inoue being able to stop. Bam being able to stop Inoue or being able to punch with Inoue or box with Inoue. My thing is we're going up to 122. The punching power is different. He's used to 115. He's had one fight at 118. Robert Garcia seems to be in the conversation of if it's my way and if Inoue can wait, I would like one more fight at 118. But like I said, time is of the essence potentially for this fight with Monster Inoue. Inoue's on his way literally either out the door or out of the division. Either way, there's a time constraint there for Bam Rodriguez. But as far as you're concerned, what makes more sense for Bam at this point?
Garcia with them time frames, man. He gave Virgil Ortiz a time frame versus Boots, yeah. So what I was saying before about it being good, basically being good work, he went out there to just test himself. And this is a semi-comparison, but it's not exactly the same. I'll give you Boots versus the Kern the 2 times, and then I'll give you Benavidez versus Graviel.
Okay.
Those were just good work. And that literally made him improve. This right here is just good work. And it's going to make him improve. Not the performance that the guy got back at him, but just the fact that what he did to test himself. Let me eat these punches to see what I could do, to see if I can handle this new weight class. Let me go in there and see if I can get my rocks off. And that's basically what happened. It was a glorified sparring session. He did exactly what the fuck he wanted to do. And the other guy did not change his game plan whatsoever. So with that being said, does that make you good enough to go against the monster? Nothing can prove that. Only thing that can prove that is time. But at the same time, he showed up real good. So the fact that he showed up real good kind of confirms that, hey, I still got it. New weight class, but I still got it. I'm the same motherfucker. I'm the same Bam. Nothing diminished. Now his trainer, who knows him better than anybody else, said one more fight. I could believe that. He can get one more fight. But at whoever you get, it'll probably be the same exact shit that we just saw. It'll be a different person, but it'll be the same exact performance.
I mean, if he delivers like that, right, and if it's the same as that performance, I think that makes the conversation even more clear, right? And I would think that's what Robert wants to see. He wants to see the same thing, right? He wants to see. I just want to make sure it wasn't a fluke, that it wasn't Antonio Vargas having a bad night or Bam having a great, too much, his best night. I want to make sure what I saw tonight is what it really is. So Let's double it down one more time. If I see the same thing, there's no questions. Now, as far as the time constraint is concerned on this, if there is a time constraint, I mean, honestly, what I'm taking what you're saying is, at this point, I think we've seen as much as we're going to see. It seems like you're comfortable with throw the dice. Man, give that man the dice, man. Let him throw it, man. He's done what he can do. He's built himself up. The fight's got the attention. Especially if he gets pushed up to number 2 on the pound for pound list, it'll be a legitimate number 2 versus a legitimate number 1. Listen, man, opportunity strikes. You stay ready so you don't got to get ready. I don't see no problem making the fight happen. Is that a fair assessment of what you're saying right now at this point?
Yeah. Now the thing is, it's really about all the stipulations that go along with it. It ain't the timing, because the 2 people that I gave him the most respect for is when Monster beat Donaire and when Monster beat Scooter.
Okay.
Now the Scooter performance wasn't that fucking good, but you also gotta understand, fighting in somebody's homeland, the cooking is kind of in the sauce a little bit, like they
right.
but
you can't anticipate nonsense. You got to anticipate it, like it might be some nonsense.
And with Donaire the first time, not the second fight, but the first fight, you see how it almost turned out.
Yeah,
the cooking was in. The chef was already there, but at the same time, what he showed in that fight, that lets you know that, hey, get Bam right now on as long as it's even playing field or as close to even as possible, and may the best man win. And I just believe that Bam in that ring would be the better man. I ain't gonna say by how much. I'll just say yes, he would be the better man if everything was equal.
Okay,
and that's all you can really go on. You can't go on, hey, is it timing? Get him in there before he run out of time. Get him in there at the 5 fights, 2 fights, 1 fight. Right now, this guy is better than this guy. Right now, my opinion. So
I want to add to what you're saying and just say that Monster Inoue is an athletic fighter. Would we all agree with that he's an athletic fighter?
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, he's 33 years old. That's the first thing that goes, right? The pop, the strength, that stays the longest. The athleticism goes away. We also have that age factor. We've got a very high level, high pedigreed Bam Rodriguez and a high level, high pedigreed Monster Inoue, but we also have a young in his prime lion in Bam Rodriguez, and we have an older, tried true living legend in his country fighter in Monster Inoue, who's proven, but he's also getting older. So, sometimes timing is everything, right? And if the timing is right, this might be the perfect time for Bam Rodriguez to run this fade with Monster Inoue.
I say only time because you got dropped 4 times already in your career. So it's not looking that positive. It looks like the way it's correlating, you're going to get dropped more. So it's best to do it right now.
You talking about Bam?
No. Anyway.
Inoue.
Okay, Inoue. Yep.
So it's better to do it right now because the way it's correlating, it look like, oh, maybe his power is maybe his resistance is diminishing, or maybe the higher weight classes is getting to him. So the best thing to do it right now. That way, those questions that you may have had, you won't have right now. A year or 2 later, you'll definitely have those questions more rather than less.
So basically, you saying like he's in his prime window. Like we're looking at his prime, and it'd be like he can't really go no further up. Like Inoue is Inoue right now, and so with time on the line, you would think it would only be a diminishment, right? And at the same time, Bam might be continuing to improve. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, if you look at that age and then you look at those knockdowns, you feel what I'm saying? If you look at one of them separately, it's not that glaring. But if you add them both together, it start to get glaring, and you start to get a little worried. Like, you know what? If that's my fighter, or if I'm a fan of that fighter, get that shit out the way now, because I'm not trying to see you as later.
Right.
Those two things are fucking glaring.
I'm a fan of momentum, and I feel like right now Bam got momentum on this side. I don't want him to fall into the Nakatani trap. Like, if we remember, like everybody had been clamoring for the Nakatani and Inoue fight, You feel me? Everybody was high on the hog for, we need to have that fight. That's a Japan super fight. And then Nakatani ended up taking another fight with what was the Sebastian Hernandez cat.
Right.
Who blacked his eye. You feel me? People thought that he lost the fight.
Yeah.
And then it took steam away from the Inoue fight. You feel me? It was like, because I ain't gonna cap. The moment I saw that with Mr. Hernandez, I said, "Oh shit, Nakatani cooked. He's not beating Inoue." At first, it was like, "Oh, maybe he's beating range. He got dimensions. He tall. He linky, and all this other." Then I said, "Oh damn, he just killed." You feel me? He killed the momentum for the fight. Like, I don't want that to happen to Bam. I don't want to see Bam fight what's the Medina character that Robert Garcia was talking about, or fight Takuma in the way or something like this, and then all of a sudden he lose, you feel me, momentum on the fight. He don't look as stellar as he been looking. We don't need that, man. We need to go into the fight why everybody hopes is high, you feel me? Why everybody is at a, you feel me, intrigued right now. So I don't know. I don't want to see him fall into the Nakatani trap though. That's basically what I'm getting at though. What do you think, Clay?
I agree with you. I think that you know, in this atmosphere in boxing, nothing is promised. You never know. We watched Ryan Garcia ruin a rematch with Devin Haney by just having an off night with Rolly Romero. We watched Deontay Wilder look crazy in front of Joseph Parker and look even crazier in front of Zhilei Zhang and ruin a fight with Anthony Joshua. We just watch these little situations kind of develop in a way that goes against what the whole premise of the fights at times were, which was stepping stones, get him ready, and we wanted to see the big fight, and it got thrown off. So, you know, time is everything, and sometimes, like I said, you better stay ready, because sometimes you ain't got time to get ready. If it's about getting ready, sometimes time is not on your side. And right now, Monster Inoue does seem to have a clock on him. Where it's like, look, let me know what you want to do, Bram, because I'm ready to make this fight, but at the same time, I ain't finna hang around forever, bro. I got 126 conversations happening right now, and honestly, I'm about ready. I'm rich as hell. I'd have made all the money in the world. I don't even know how motivated I am. One might argue that Monster Inoue is waking up in those satin sheets that Marvelous Hagler was talking about, and that's a whole nother conversation within itself, right? So, you know, from Bam Rodriguez's point of view, man, there's an opportunity there. Worst case scenario, you take this L, and it's against the number one pound for pound fight in the world. Who's going to hold that over your head? You know what I'm saying? But on the back end, and all, by the way, the worst case scenario not only being that you lose, but the worst case scenario is you still walk away with generational money, wealth, life-changing money that's going to change everything for your family. So you really don't got too much to lose. And on the winning side of the conversation, sky's the limit. You beat Monster Inoue, you're cemented in a way. You're rich. Your price point changes. The conversation changes. We'll have a 122-pound American pound for pound number one fighter in the world, and that's an accomplishment that, you know, I mean, money can't buy. One might argue, right? It is what it is.
I could diminish what he said with two factors. What I said before about him being a legend killer, that ain't no joke. He didn't stop some legends already in his career. And the other thing is, this probably the biggest factor. Bam is a mean motherfucker, yo. He's a mean little bastard, yo. So you saw Nakataki, or how do you pronounce his name?
Nakatani, yeah.
You saw when he got hit, this motherfucker smiling the whole fucking fight. And then when he fought Monster, he was smiling the whole fight. This motherfucker was too goddamn nice. That's not going to be Bam. Even if Bam got fucking lumped up, it will make the fight with Monster worse, not better. Because he's a mean little bastard. He going to go in that bitch like motherfucking the leprechaun that got his goddamn coin stolen.
Yeah, he like a honey badger. I don't know if you ever seen honey badgers, but the honey badgers are horribly mean, bro. They I don't care how small they are, what you think about them. They get in. I don't care if it's a lion. They are.
Yeah, I'm about to say lions
and disgusting. Yeah, like they getting bit and everything. They like getting up and they still chasing them down. The lion trying to leave it alone. Like, bro, I don't even want to play with you. You all right, man? I don't even want to eat you no more.
You good, yo. You good.
Like, you need to eat me.
Motherfucker, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, nah, you need to eat me, bro. That's what you came to do. Come eat, bro. What are you talking about? You walking away. We ain't done. So
that's Bam, yo. If he get two black eyes, guess what? He gonna be the worst Bam we have ever saw, yo. That shit gonna fester. He got what you call the short man complex. That's literally what he got, yo. He is a mean little motherfucker.
And he got the ability to make you pay, right? He got the ability to make you pay, period. That's the most important thing. Shout out to Atheist Ghostbusters with the $5 super chat, man.
Baby, I didn't know that.
Atheist Ghostbusters says, I'm changing your name to Professor Rain. Nobody can articulate this boxing ish with such precise and factual information. I appreciate the flowers, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate the super chat. Thanks for the support, man. So listen, man, I want to take this question over to Strap Up. You guys let Strap Up get his moment right here to kind of build on this a little bit. So, I mean, at this point, Strap Up, you've heard all the arguments out here, but there is a time constraint, in my opinion. I don't know how you see it as far as on Bam Rodriguez, right? There is an opportunity for him to make this big payday, but if it seems like the fight has to happen sooner rather than later based off of Monster Inoue's time schedule. If you're on Bam's team right now, based off what you've seen from Antonio Vargas, how do you move your fighter at this point?
Let's go.
It's time.
Let's go. From a business perspective, the time can't be any more right than now. And secondly, I mean, if Bam isn't ready now, I mean, what would be the reason? Are you saying you want him to, wait? Are you saying that you want to see him put on the weight and take another fight? Nah, let's go now. You know, just getting back to the technicals. There's a lot of things that you know, if you know what you're looking at, as do all of you, you know it's not a cakewalk for Inoue. You know, the things that he does in there, you know, moving in straight lines. You don't ever really see him work off the pivot. These are all things that, you know, that Bam Rodriguez is going to exploit. And I think he's going to make it look a lot easier than a lot of people are, you know, to go back to your point where you said it's very Crawford Canelo-ish. Mm-hmm. I think that we could see a similar outcome where a lot of the people that are like, oh, he's the bigger guy, the bigger weight, the bigger puncher, the this, the that, he's been fighting it longer, all of that, I don't think it's going to matter at all. I don't think it's going to matter. I think that Bam Rodriguez just has the style to really fully exploit, because we've seen Inoue be exploited. We have seen that on more than 2 occasions. You know, on multiple occasions we've seen it, and by lesser fighters than Bam Rodriguez. So, you know, I say let's go, and let's go now. And when he beats him, we get a part 2. You know, when we get a part 2, and it'll probably be the same outcome.
No doubt. I like the part 2. There's money on the back end of that for sure, man.
I mean, just from a fight fan, and we're starving for big fights. You know, the well has run dry. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, Boots can look spectacular here in against Xander, mm-hmm. and we can get the Fundora fight. You know, and then that'll be the next monster like event where it's like, you know, like I can't really think of any other fights on the horizon that look like they're actually gonna happen. I mean, you know,
we got one potentially. We got one. We're gonna talk about it a little later. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I got you.
It's in the air right now. We're waiting for it to come down. It's been up there for a minute.
It's a pipe dream. It's a pie in the sky right now. But I'm just saying, you know, we are starving. We're starving for the big fights, and that's what has created a lane for guys like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to still be in conversation for
the timing, right?
Yeah, it's like, man. Guys, man, we don't want, nobody wants to see though, but the sport needs big fights. So I think this and
a big fight, Strap Up, is a fight that happens when it's supposed to happen, right? And I think that's important to say, because people now we're talking about Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and it's like, and no, what are you talking about? It was a fight, like, bro, stop acting like that's the same fight we was looking at years ago. It's just not the same fight. You know, to see these fights happen when they're supposed to happen is the art of matchmaking, is what a real boxing fan pays attention to. And it feels like, you know, like a Xander Zayas, Jerron Boots, and it feels like, yes, it just seems like it's hitting the right way. Like, what? Xander, young, prime, unified, Boots working. This is the time for it to happen. And also a big opportunity on the back end of that to see a sequel or even a trilogy. Who knows? If Xander is in a very competitive fight with him and loses, the rematch might be there to happen. If Xander wins the fight, then okay, fine, he wins the fight. But then at 160, you got to think these guys are going to run into each other again. We're going to see that sequel again. Who knows? Depending on that result, if we see a trilogy, but we don't get to see these epic trilogies and what I'm saying, these huge rematches without the first fight happening. And if when the first fight is happening, these dudes is already ready to go into a retirement home, then we don't know how much legacy was on the table if the fight would have happened at the right time. We don't know what would have happened if Manny Pacquiao and Floyd would have fought in their primes, what a rematch would have looked like between them still active. I'm saying? If there would have been a trilogy, we have no idea. We won't know because those fights just pass us by. Timing is of the essence.
Let me ask you a question though, real quick. What do you give Bam the edge, or you got a 50-50, or you got a 55-45, 60-40 Inoue?
I've got a 50-50 right now because I'm being honest with you. Some of the things I saw happen in the fight last night with Antonio Vargas, I did see him get touched. I did see him choose to fight rather than box. I've seen him just keep pressing. And I feel like, that's fun for me as a boxing fan to watch. But I think with Monster Inoue, there's going to have to be moments where there's a boxing match that happens in the fight. And there's going to be moments where there's a fight in the fight. And I think it's important for Bam to be able to separate that and be like, I'm going to box you right now. And I'm going to fight you. A wise fighter, who was it who said it? I can't remember who said it, but he says that the best fighters in the world make you fight when they want to fight, and they make you box when they want to box. They don't allow you to pull them into situations that they don't feel like being pulled in. They're not just reactors. The real fighters, they change the game when they want to change it. We fighting now. Oh, you wanna box? You want to fight? Oh, we boxing now. Oh, you want to box? We fighting now. When you're able to do
Floyd.
It might have been Floyd, but I don't think it was Floyd.
No. I'm not who said it, but I'm just saying that's Floyd Mayweather.
Right. Like, you want to box? No, we finna fight. Come fight. Now we fighting. Now we boxing. Now we moving around and we boxing. And that's where the greats separate themselves from everybody else, because the greats do what they want to do and have the fight when they want to have the fight and box when they want to box. The good fighters just deal with whatever comes to them. Whatever
reaction, more reactionary than imposing their own will. I mean, at what range do you think is going to be the most comfortable range for Inoue and inversely for Bam when they fight?
Inoue is definitely going to want this fight to be a long range fight. He's going to want that space to jump in, do what he does, jump out, turn. He likes to box like that. Bam's going to be very effective on that mid range, where he can smother Monster Inoue and not allow.
Right.
People sleep on Monster Inoue's cerebral activity. He's a thinking man in that ring. He thinks a lot. If you smother that and make it to where he can't think as much as he has to react, now you can put him in a position to where you might be able to force his hand in a certain way to where you're able to walk him into some bad situations.
You don't think that wide stance of Inoue's is going to hurt him versus a guy like Bam, who can shift and cut angles like in a split second? You don't think
it could, but I'm going to tell you, Monster Inoue,
and this is why he's been dropped.
Yeah, but anyway. No, without a doubt, he's been able to, and that's another thing. We're creatures of habits, right? And that's one of the things where we're going into the Xander Zayas, Jaron Boots Ennis fight, where I tell people like, hey man, Jaron Boots Ennis is a fighter who can do a lot. I know, but he hasn't had to adjust that much. And we're creatures of habit. So what Xander Zayas is speaking when he says to what he sees in Jaron Boots Ennis's reputation is that he's used to something. He's used to doing what Jaron said he's going to do. Right. He's used to doing whatever he wants to do. And if I can force it and take away things and get him in a conversation of, yeah, you can do whatever you want to do, except for that, and except for this. Anything else, yeah. How does Jaron Boots Ennis react on that based on the fact that we're creatures of habit and he hasn't had to do it? Will he react with frustration and become a little emotional and over aggressive, or can he bring it down, become the thinking man, work around, adjust with this new problem that's been put in front of him in the ring, and still win that fight. I mean, that's what the litmus test is going to be for him. And I say it's the same thing with Monster Inoue and Bam Rodriguez. Is Monster Inoue's ability to deal with a problem, which is a fighter who's not allowing him to control that distance that way, not allowing him to control that range, and putting hands on him and hurting him, or, you know, winning rounds, putting rounds in the bag and putting him in a position to where he has to win X amount of rounds. The conversation could get very interesting. As far as Monster Inoue's stance, it's karate-like to me. And the karate stance is misleading at times, because karate, the stance is kind of wide at times, but they're very good at hopping in and hopping out. They're very good at gauging that range. So I think it's misleading where people might think like that wide, like, for example, Abdullah Mason. I think his wide stance fucks him up a little bit. I think
very much so.
Yeah, I think he needs to pay attention to that. He's not a karate type dude, but for like an Omari Jones, who has a karate background, he had that stance, but he's able to get in and out very quickly and easy because he's a 4th degree black belt or 3rd degree black belt, whatever it is. So he's used to that stance. He's used to moving and controlling that range in that stance. So I think Inoue has that same type of situation. Let me go ahead and just move on to the band.
Hey man, wifey called, man. I gotta get, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But hey man, thanks for having me, guys. Man, it's my first time you know, on your podcast, man. But you definitely go to the top of the list, man. This is my speed, man. It's respectful. It's knowledgeable, factual, not a lot of conjecture and shucking and jiving and bullshit. And this is what we need in the space, man. So much continued success to you, man. And hopefully, man, one of these days I catch you at one of these fights, man. My grandson's about to be born, so I couldn't get to New York for Ennis Zayas. But
right.
Hopefully one of these days, man, I catch you at one of these fights. Hey, peace out to the rest of the panel.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming.
Happy Father's Day upcoming to all the fathers.
Oh, no doubt, man.
Fathers.
Salute. Thank you, man.
Brother.
Mandalorian, man. I know you must have had some technical difficulties or something a little bit earlier, so you know there's a lot of take that I missed an opportunity at getting from you. So you know, feel free to tap in and let me know where you're at on this conversation. Where we are right now is we're on after the fight. Now we've seen the performance, but the conversation is Robert Garcia has said he'd rather have, ideally in a perfect world, another fight for Bam Rodriguez, just one more fight at least before he jumps in there with Monster Inoue. But look, the time is not on Bam's side, one would argue, is Monster Inoue is dealing with those end of career decisions, right? Do I go here, 126, and do something there? Do I hang back and wait for Bam? Or do I just retire altogether and just be a rich, happy, successful pound for pound, number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world and let it just be that? Turkey Al-Sheik's super interested in the fight, but Robert Garcia has made his position clear on what he'd rather happen. If you were in charge of this situation, if Bam Rodriguez is your fighter, what seems to be the most logical next best move for Bam Rodriguez?
So it is interesting, right? How y'all talking about this play? Because I even heard Treese, shout out to Treese on Midwest Mafia, man. Treese, I ain't gonna lie, I thought they did O'Shea wrong, man. I thought she beat Ellie, but So I heard y'all talking, right, Clay? So what I was saying earlier, before my signal, I had got a call, then my signal went out. But so with Vargas, I wasn't surprised how he fought, because I know, like you said on your show, he was gonna come in there to win, because of course he was undefeated into the Olympics, till he ran into Shakur, undefeated into the amateurs for 4 years, till he ran into Shakur. Even Shakur said, nah, he like, Vargas, he pushed me to my limits, So seeing him in there with Bam and fighting and stuff, I think Bam team, for sure, Eddie and them, they kept saying, he got to make a statement, I think they was kind of surprised, too, that Bam did get touched up as much as he did. But then also, when after the fight, Bam said, I felt the power, though. See, I think that was a big one that got him. So hearing y'all talk about this, right, Clay? See, you're right, because it's a big thing, like you said, you're right, with the time not being on the side. And I seen somebody else say this yesterday, and I'm like, it's tough, but I said, maybe some boxing fans got to start, grasping in unison, is that the time not on his side, but it just may be one of them fights that's not exactly deemed to be. And what I mean by that is, I remember when like how you was talking about with Shakur and Devin and all that, and then Shakur said but I said what people missing with Shakur talking about Conor Benn and the hypothetical, him saying he can move up for Conor Benn. Like I always say, boxing all about cherry picking, whatever, regardless. But a lot of people don't be seeing these guys in person. Man, I seen Conor Ben at Boots Carrying 2 fight. He literally looked like a little kid. Like, I'm like, I see why Eddie was saying he wasn't in no rush to get Conor Ben at 54. Like, Boots, out of all them, Boots probably one of them fighters who really got real size on him. Like Devin, he look like a little kid. Shakur, he look like a little kid. Dalton Smith, these all fighters I done met face to face, talked to, all that stuff right next. I'm like, bro, like, they legit at max look like they probably like 170. That's why I say Boots probably the only one who got some real size to him. But even Boots, he like a true 5'10". He ain't like no big giant or nothing. So I'm like, when they speak on that, which I do understand, Shakur said the skills pay the bills thing, but I feel like what people do in Clay is they looking around your weight class and like they say, oh, nobody can beat him, so he need to go up to here. Now, see, I don't trip on Bud because Bud did it at the very last fight of his career. But see, Bud doing that, now he the litmus, which I get it because they say he the best fighter of the generation. But now that's just the litmus test. So now they saying, oh, well, Bud did it, Shakur can do it, Devin can do it, Boost can do it, everybody can do it. But I'm like, nah, if they have their own path, I feel like you have to respect that. So I feel like it's just kind of forced. Bam don't exactly have a nemesis. Bam signed to Tekken. Of course, he don't want to fight Nakatani, but Mr. Honda done said before, I'll never allow them to fight unless the money's just too good to turn down for me and for them. Because even Robert Garcia, when they fought Puma, he said they signed, the name that was on the dotted line they signed to face was Nakatani. He said Mr. Honda was the one who said no, and then they ended up pivoting and ended up getting Puma. So I'm like, that's just my thing, Clay. I would have Bam go for at least one if you can get to Kuma, because even I heard Eddie after the fight and stuff. That was the fight they already tried to get, was the Chispa Medina fight. I remember when we was in at that Shakur and Tio fight. Of course, all the media people and all that up there, they was saying that Chispa Medina got his next fight coming up. Of course, he was WBO, Bam WBO super champ, so you can just use that status to become that automatic man. But they said Chispa Medina said no when Bam was moving up. And they said Chispa Medina was going to try and unify with the IBM. So if he ended up doing that, then in the meantime, Bam could possibly wait. And if he can't get to Kuma anyway, that's good. Then if not, he could get Chispa probably, and then they can unify. But that's how I would do it. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I'm not one into pushing it because, like I'm saying, it's real forced. So right. I don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. So guys, let's move the needle. We've been on this topic for going on 2 hours, and I do want to talk about some other things that happened that night here. I know that I feel like Dr. Eugene and Mandalorian, which I think everybody on this panel in particular right now, Toledo Treats, Dr. Eugene, the Mandalorian, are interested in the female side of this conversation. We watched a couple of females fight last night. The females have been shaking up the sport for the past couple of years right now, man. Really just some good female boxing going on. And I think yesterday, there was some good boxing going on. I want to talk about the fight that was on this particular card, as well as segue into the O'Shea Jackson fight that happened here. But on this particular card, Elif Nur Turhan against Gabriela Tellez. Gabriela Tellez coming up for 126, getting an opportunity as an undefeated fighter to go ahead and make this fight happen when Elif Nur Turhan didn't turn it away. She walks into the ring coming out of that Jose Benavidez senior camp, and a small little fighter, but turned out to be a super competitive fight. And Elif Nur Turhan earning a reputation as being one of the biggest punchers in the space right now. I don't know what people thought about going into this fight. I'll be honest with you. I thought Elif was just going to, respectfully step on Gabriela Tellez, right? That's what I really thought was going to happen. But Gabriela Tellez showing that level of pedigree where she was able to compensate on that size difference with the movement, with the angles. Very accurate and straight with her punches. She ended up even putting Elif Nur Turhan on her back foot at points in this fight. And there was arguments to be made at the end of the fight that Gabriela Tellez won that fight, right? But Elif Nur Turhan wins it 6 rounds of 4. I won't complain. On my scorecard, I had Gabriela Tellez winning the fight. But it is what it is. Super interested in what you guys thought about that fight. And we can even get into what's next for Elif Nur Turhan. Obviously, Alicia Baumgardner is in the conversation, and Sweet Caroline Dubois is in the conversation. But did any opinions change on Elif Nur Turhan on the back end of the performance she had with Gabriela Tellez? I'll start off the conversation and take it up to Dr. Eugene Edwin and let him build on this one.
All right, let me give a shout out to the chin. Hey, yo, Leander Cruz. I'm so mad I missed that fight.
Okay.
Because that's the fight I actually wanted to see. The second most. I wanted to see the O'Shea fight first, but that's number 2. And I missed it. I was pissed. But as far as this concerned, I liked her. Nah, I still like her. But she did lose a lot of steam with me only because she like a female fucking Wilder. I'm tired, I'm tired of that shit. I fucks with Wilder since the Olympics, but the fact that you're not improving, now he improves slowly, but only a little bit. She is not. I thought, all right, these low class motherfuckers, she just walking them down on some RoboCop shit.
Right.
But now that you higher up there and you doing the same shit, like you not learning that I need to switch up a little bit. She didn't do none of that. She walked in like a fucking robot, swung wide as a bitch, and kept doing it, even though it wasn't working. She getting jab, 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 and she still was doing it. I'm like, shorty, this is not a video game. You can throw another punch. What the fuck are you doing? It really pissed me off because that let me know you're one-dimensional mentally as well, because you can see in her face, she has a robotic ass face. No smiling, no laughing, walking straight at you. She even clapped her hands together a little bit. Like, shorty, don't clap your hands together, throw a jab. What the fuck is your trainer telling you? Like, can you straighten up at least 1 or 2 of those punches and do something a little bit different? Just a little bit.
Right.
The fact that she was so robotic, even at her movement and her demeanor, it kind of disheartened me, and it made me have flashbacks to Wilder, yo. I'm like, I start calling her Wilder when I'm watching her shit on TV.
You know, the thing about it is on the back end of, let's say she would have connected with that with a big right hand. Let's say she would have put Gabriella down, right? Let's say round 6, 7, she puts Gabriella down, and you know Gabriella doesn't answer the 10 count. Nobody would be talking about all the flaws, right? They'd be like, I would. She ended up hitting it though. She caught it though. That's the whole thing. Don't get caught by her. Like, it's like, oh, bro, you guys ain't gonna call out the nonsense. This girl needs to add some more wrinkles to her game, or she gonna get exposed. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie. I would. Now, other people might not, but me, if she would have got a knockout in round 1 through 3, I probably wouldn't.
Right.
Because that let me know this lady's not in your class. You outclassed her. That's why you did what you did. But anything past that let me know that she is close enough to your class, and you didn't do better. Just like Wilder. If Wilder knocked somebody out in round 8 or 9, I'm still pissed because I'm like, damn, dog, you the same motherfucker from fight 5. Nothing has changed. And that's the same shit. Nothing had changed. You got the knockout, but I'm still disappointed because you're not improving. Right. But your opponent,
we're building to the next fight. We know what it is. As boxing fans, we talking about the next fight 9 out of 10 times, right? We saying, all right, that happened, whatever. Well, you ain't gonna be able to do that with X, Y, and Z. And I'm saying that's what we looking at. We like, but this person you keep calling out or they keep putting you in the conversation with, that ain't happening with them. You need to do something or you're gonna get exposed. Right.
And guess what? The XYZ you talking about, they watching tape. So they like, yo, all I gotta do is cancel this one thing, and it's over. And now, if you don't fight them next and you fight them 10 fights later, guess how prepared they are to whoop your ass?
Right. They're even more prepared. But so let me ask you this. Do you think the Carolines and Alicia Baumgardner specifically, do you think in their mind they're probably, let me go get her right now? Like, let's make that fight happen sooner rather than later, because she kind of has shown that she's flawed in this area. And, you know, maybe in 3, 4, 5 more fights, she improves in this area. Now she's a big puncher who's improved in these areas. Do we take, if we're team Alicia Baumgardner or team Dubois, do we say, yo, let's go ahead and get her out the way? Well, specifically, let's be honest, right? Alicia Baumgardner, because Dubois is at 135 doing her thing. Baumgardner's the one at 130. Does Baumgardner take a fight like this next off the strength of that performance and say, let me go get her out the way and build my resume?
Turhan is at 135. She in Caroline Dubois division.
Oh, really? I thought she was 130.
Nah, she at 135 when she beat Beatrice.
Okay, so Caroline Dubois. I'm saying because Caroline has a fight lined up. Supposedly, she's supposed to be getting ready to unify.
Yeah, she's trying to call out the other lady.
But the thing is, and my thing with Terhan, I will say, as much as people are gonna say that she's wild, and shout out to her because I'm just like the violence. She bring violence in the spots, and I need that kind of shit. I need her knocking people out. Like with the Beatrice Fietas, that was a gold medalist. You feel me? In the Olympics. She got amateur pedigree. That's a traditional boxer, and Terhan crumbled her in the corner. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for all that skill and things of that nature, if I got aggression and I got violence and I got technique, I won't call it tech. I mean, shit, fuck, you got to call it technique because if you stop,
that's God gifted. That's God gifted.
Exactly. No, but that's sometimes, I'm a violence over science guy. That's my motto. Violence over science. All that cute shit, that fit work and all that other, that's cute. But when I get on your ass like a diaper rash, you cannot get rid of me. You see me? So, hey, man, I don't know. I would like to see. I think Caroline Dubois beat her for sure, though. I think Alicia Bumgarner she'll probably beat her too. I just got to see how she look at 135. But I would expect Bumgarner to beat her. But yeah, man, the fight that I want to see for Alicia Bumgarner is Tierra Brown, who won last night on the MVP card. That's the fight I would like, for Tierra Brown to go up from 126 and get the bump. I think she's earned a big money fight. You feel me? She's do and say all the right things inside and outside the ring. You feel me? So, yeah, that's who I would like to see Tierra Brown get that opportunity with Bumgarner. You feel me?
I was seconding Tierra Brown getting that fight. I would say Bumgarner, she won a fight 3-minute rounds. And I think stylistically, going up against that, Lady Drago, it ain't gonna do good because eventually she gonna clip you. Eventually, I think Dubois is slick enough where she gonna fucking Muhammad Ali, George Foreman her ass. Yeah. And maybe she'll get the stop, or maybe she won't. But she's slick enough to get around that power and get around that hook and look good doing it. I just think Bumgarner, I ain't gonna say she's not slick, but she's not gonna show as much, and she will get clipped because she's a little bit weaker. And I'm questioning
if Baumgartner's losing her slickness in a little bit with Derek. Like, I'm questioning if she's becoming more straightforward, more flat-footed with Derek. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I haven't made up my mind on it yet. I'm just kind of looking at the last couple of performances, and I don't know. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to it.
I was thinking that too, but I wasn't sure. Sometimes it'd be the opponents, and you got to cater to the opponents. So I don't know if she catering to the opponents or catering to her trainer. Like, I really can't tell either, but I was thinking that same shit. That's why I said what I said about Dubois being slicker.
Right.
Because at first, she wasn't as slick as her. She was way slicker. But now, the fact that she getting a little bit more rigid, that maybe Dubois is slicker. But at the same time, I'm not sure if she getting rigid because of her trainer or she trying to show more power. Because she said she wanted.
It seems like that's the story with Derek James, though. He did that with Jamel Charlo. You know what I mean? Or like they became a little bit more bigger punchers, right? They became a little bit more, like they just didn't have as much of that slick energy as they had before. And a lot of the fighters end up being like that, in my opinion, with Derek. I think the system defines a fighter a lot of times. You know what I mean? Sometimes the system is what is either the issue or the winning component. You know what I'm saying? Like when we look at Monster Inoue, the system his father has for him makes him the winner that he is, makes him dominant. You know what I'm saying? It's a system that you can see it. You can see it in Takuma. You can see the father's influence on the fighters that he touches. Same thing with Bozy, for example. Bozy Ennis has a system where when a Bozy Ennis fighter gets in the ring, you see Bozy. Oh, that's Bozy. You've seen it with Jack Catterall in one fight against Echo Usman. You're like, boom, I see Bozy all in there.
Bozy slick as shit. He fucking do sparring with no headgear.
Right.
Like he really be fighting like Roy Jones and shit. But again with Derek James, I think he more. I ain't trying to shit on him as a trainer, but I think he more of a workout warrior versus a trainer. And a lot of his fight like that. Like you just said, what you just now described, is that not Errol Spence? Is that not his style?
Yeah.
And a lot of them people fight just like that. They be in shape and they have stamina and they go in there on some RoboCop shit. But the thing is that RoboCop shit work for who it works for.
Right.
But it doesn't work for everybody. Versus the slick shit, it may work for who it works for, but it's less of a pitfall. You're not gonna get caught being too slick. You'll get caught being too rigid though. That's the difference. That's why
Jared Hurd type of fight style. You feel me? He was a jugger. I always, Jared Hurd was my guy. I used to like that guy. Come in, you feel me? Try to jab you to death. Use pressure. Just get in. But I do think Alicia Baumgartner is missing Tony Harrison right now. I ain't gonna lie. He had her.
Yeah, I miss it. I think Tony Harrison and her was the truth, and I think male female issues got in the way of that being what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes men, you just got to have a professional. You got to have a professional relationship, man. If it's not easy, it's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Word. Like some of these, especially with Alicia Baumgartner, she's not an ugly person. You know what I mean? No, you got to draw that line and saying and be like, this is where we're at with it. Cross that line, it's kind of hard to come back. You know what I mean? And just being that, especially with women, it can get real. The hormones start kicking in, and all of a sudden they're not giving you all. They're all in training, and you're like, girl, you don't got time to be dealing with our issues. We need to train. Nah, but damn, man, I knew I shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? You're making this awkward. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but that's Tony's style. Tony's style is being, slick.
Right.
So it worked. It worked for her because it meshed well.
Right.
Certain people don't mesh well. Like Derek James might be good, but does he mesh well with who you are and the style that works best for you? And a lot of people, it doesn't. Like a good example of somebody who some slick shit would not work on, Virgil Ortiz. If he try to be a slick motherfucker, it will end real bad for that motherfucker, yo.
Yeah.
Because his body and his style was too rigid. So imagine him trying to move that big ass head around. He gonna get laid the fuck out, yo.
Yeah. No, you ain't lying, man. You ain't not lying though. O'Shea Jackson.
O'Shea Jones.
O'Shea Jones. You
think of Jones. You think of Ice Cube. This nigga
yeah, you're right, bro. You're right. That's crazy, man. Oh my God, bro. But yeah, O'Shea Jones. Last night, another draw for her. Not very happy. She doesn't feel like she got treated fairly in that one. I rewatched the fight. I did think she won the fight, but I think at times it can get a little sloppy in there. It can get the waters can get muddied a little bit in there. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have too much to say on it. You know what I mean? It's a draw. I don't know if we're going to be talking about her rematching in a trilogy with this girl, or should she just leave it alone and move on? I'm gonna let you guys kind of like take the take the steering wheel on this one, because for me, I think she's still raw to me. You know what I'm saying? She's still a little raw to me. But what are you guys thinking?
Hold on. Did you have it as a draw? Like you personally?
No, I didn't score it. I haven't had time to rewatch it and score because I was calling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I watched it again, but I watched it while I was making breakfast for myself, and I had it on the TV. I wasn't scoring. You know what I'm saying? I was just watching it. It was playing.
No, well, based on that, based on
I had her watching it. I thought she won the fight.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I thought she won the fight. But I think she makes it muddy. I just think she makes it. I don't think she knows. She's not in that place yet to where at the higher level where she's making that separation. She's allowing these judges room to play with her career instead of really outclassing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know. You basically what you're saying is she need to put her foot on the gas a little bit more.
Yeah, she's
and make it not what's the right word? Not defiant, definite.
Yeah, like undeniable. Like make the separation, separate the pedigree and be like, this is a world-class boxer and this lady is domestic at best, and she probably shouldn't even be in the ring with me, but it is what it is. But that's
Shorty is regional, you are national. It's right. And
Right.
everybody could see that, but like you said, the performance didn't match.
It's almost like you're
Everybody
fighting
thought.
down to your opponents a little bit. It's almost like you're being. It's almost like some fighters, like I'll give you an example, like a Teofimo Lopez. He's the kind of fighter who fights depending on the fighter. You know what I mean? He's not consistent. He'll fight down to the level of a Steve Claggett, you know what I'm saying? Or Sano Martin, or you know what I'm saying, or George Kambosos, whatever. He'll throw caution to the wind and look regular in front of these guys. But then he'll get in the ring with a Lomachenko, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? He's stepping it up. You need to be consistent. If somebody ain't supposed to be in the ring with you, they're not supposed to look like they was in the fight when they in real life shouldn't be in the fight with you. You know what I mean?
Keyshawn Davis a lot of times. That's how he be a lot of times.
Yeah, you got to be motivated. You know what I mean? Keyshawn kind of expresses it more on the scale, but you got to be like Alexander Usyk said. It's not even about not motivated. You got to be disciplined. I remember when they asked Alexander Usyk the question, like, "Yo, how do you keep the discipline?" You know, he said, "How do you keep motivated doing all this stuff?" He's like, motivated? He's like, "I'm not motivated. There's times I'm disciplined because I don't got to be feeling it to whoop your ass." You know what I'm saying? I'm going to whoop your ass because that's my job. That's what I train to do. This is not a sport where we don't play boxing. Our life is on the line. I'm going to whoop your ass. So you better be on your game or you're going to get your ass whooped because I don't care who you are, even though you can argue against that with that last performance he had against
But what you just said, in that ring, he is the real businessman because, like you said, it's about discipline. It ain't about feelings. It ain't about none of that bullshit. I go in there and I do my fucking job.
Right. You better do yours or you're going to get embarrassed because I don't care about none of that
O'Shea Jones. Shout out to O'Shea Jones. You feel me? Toledo, Ohio. You already know how we rocking, of course.
Yeah, I already know. Yo, she from the city you from, yo.
Of course. She from the city, of course. But my thing is, though, I will say, as much as I love O'Shea Jones, and I do love her. I like what she got going on. Sometimes I feel like Clay said, she's a little bit raw, but also she plays around a little too much in the ring. We try to be a little bit flamboyant. You feel me? In the ring, we dropping down. We doing bounce punches. We doing reach around punches around the head. We hitting dance moves sometimes I think we lose a little bit of focus. We not necessarily committing to the damage at all times. You feel me? We trying to put on, and I'm not mad at that because what they say, boxing is entertainment. You feel me? But sometimes we got to put that on the back burner and get the job done. You feel me? Over the entertainment sometimes. But I definitely thought she won the fight, man. They got Michaela Mayer and Chantel Cameron fighting for the other 3 belts at 154. So it's like she'd be in the mix for that. I'm not gonna bullshit. Whoever win that fight between Chantel Cameron and Michaela Mayer, O'Shea Jones, we need to divert. We have to divert. We need to do other things to get ready for either one of them two. You feel me? I'm not even gonna bullshit. I'm a realist around this thing. We not gonna play around. We gotta divert. We had to take on some other challengers. We had to see what Mary Spencer's talking about. Maybe what Emma Cozen talking about or something like this. We got to do something different. You feel me? We got to let them beat each other up. You feel me? And then swoop in like a vulture. You feel me? And pick up the remains. But I seen that Chris Cyborg is talking about coming back to boxing or something like that. Maybe we can get a Chris Cyborg fight. You feel me? She's older up in age, but she's still punching. She boxing. Maybe O'Shea Jones can get something like that. You feel me? Increase our name value.
She need to win the fuck all that.
No, man, we not. I'm not gonna see. I'm not gonna bullshit. We not ready for them. I'm not even gonna sit here and play games and beat around the bush and bullshit because she from the city. I got no time. I don't play by my fighters, man. We ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, I got a different take. Let me cook on this. Hey, so look, I'm big on everybody, the whole team. I'm big on her because she looked like my cousin. I keep calling her my cousin. Now I'm big on her trainer, her coach. Hey, yo, Coach Rel. I'm big on him. He got TBI. I had the TBI and shit, yo. We was in comas. We both was in comas. I fucks with him. But when we just talking about trainers and shit, trainer boxing relationship. Coach Rel is a excellent motherfucker, yo. He's a goddamn Olympian.
Right.
Her style is similar to his style. His style, he was just better. because he was better. He went in there and 1-2 got you the fuck out of there. But got you out there performance wise, not like knockout wise. And her, it's kind of the same way. Going there and outclass her. Outclassing people works for some people, but not everybody. And she need to go in there with an actual like certified game plan that will make you, like you said, definitely win the round. Don't go in there and try to win the round off athleticism or skill. Go in there and shut something down. All right, if that's what you do, I'm gonna shut down that jab. So for the fourth round, I shut that jab down and I landed my jab. Now it was definite in all the judges' eyes. I had a 7-3. Other people had it, like 6-4 or whatever. But when it's all said and done, that's how he is as a coach. She can keep the same coach. The only difference is she has to change a little bit. And hopefully this fight make her bring out her mean streak more. Getting fucked over make you meaner. So hopefully this is like making like we feed a dog gunpowder. Yeah. Hopefully this fight was feeding that dog some gunpowder. And now she know, all right, I got to step on these bitches. I can't play with nobody because I see how they're going to try to do me.
Yeah. They're gonna muddy the waters, and I think that's the name of this episode for O'Shea Jones is Muddied Waters. She gotta clean up the water, man. She can't leave room. They're not gonna work with her because they're not familiar with her. If you're not familiar with what she does, then you're gonna have a hard time processing what you're seeing, and you're gonna try to give credit to the other fighter because you're gonna be like, oh, the other fighter must be doing something because she's looking reckless. She's, you know what I mean? Why is she looking that way? So that's what I thought about the O'Shea Jones. I don't got too much deep about it. I want Bandalorian to build, and then for this last
let me say one more thing for he go. So the other thing I was gonna say was Mayer was in the fucking arena.
Right.
So in my mind, once she outclassed Shorty, she was gonna hop in and be like, yeah, you could be next. But the way the performance went, I think they kind of cheated her out of that moment. I really think it was some I ain't gonna say home cooking because I don't know where the fuck that is at. But she said in the ring, I want to get the fuck out of Florida.
Yeah, that's what she said. I noticed that. Yeah,
for sure. No, but see, I was gonna say that too.
Karan's from there. That's where she's
from. Hey, that's what I was gonna say, Trees. I'll say, I'm a homer, but doctor, I'm gonna call you Doc Double E. It was home cooking because I had a 6-4 for O'Shea for sure. I was like, she clearly won to me, but that was, I ain't gonna lie, that was a little home cooking. That was a little, they was in Orlando. That was a little, we gonna give you a little Puerto Rico love. That's what that was, So yeah, it's a little disappointing. I ain't even mad listening to y'all and what Tree said. I do feel like if O'Shea want to swerve, she got every right to, because I'm over here listening to you, Tree. So I'm like, bro, this gonna turn into the first women's quadrilogy in history. Because I thought O'Shea won perfect the first time. I thought she won last night just fine. I'm watching the fight. Now, I do like what Doc Double E, I do like what you were saying, because I feel like Coach Rell, you right, he a BMF. Like, when Shakur was fighting T.O., I said, we got Coach Rell again? Oh, T.O. done then. Coach Rell, like they call it a secret weapon. But I do like what you were saying, Doc, because O'Shea was a little cocky. I ain't like that twerking and dancing after every round. I ain't like that. I wanted, go in there, solidify, and fully put her down. But I do agree with what y'all was saying, though, because even like Tree said, Michaela Mayer, she a BMF too, though. And I think Michaela gonna beat Chantel Cameron. Do gotta give Chantel Cameron her love because she is the only woman that defeated Katie Taylor. But I think Michaela Mayer, she levels above all of them. And I know Michaela Mayer and O'Shea Jones, they both look at each other as sisters. They both said they prefer not to fight, but if they the last two saying they absolutely have to for undisputed, they said they'll do it. So because I told Michaela when I seen her in January, I want that Lauren Price fight. She want the Lauren Price fight. Obviously, it ain't coming. She said that's why she pivoted to Chantel Cameron. So, I'm looking forward to that fight. It is what it is. And what y'all was saying earlier too, Clay. Only thing I was gonna say on that, everything you said was I was all with you with the Elise Tehran thing. What Doc was saying, Clay, was everything I was tweeting and thinking about yesterday. Elise, like Usyk told Fabio Wardley, what is jab? What is jab? Where is the jab? Elise just in there swinging, She fight Caroline. She fight Alicia. She fight anybody. She getting cooked. Like AB said, she getting cooked because she just swinging. She ain't got no jab. She just that's why Tellez was catching her because Tellez. But see, what Tellez, I did think Tellez lost because I think she let the fight get away from her because she wasn't using her height. She was killing her with that jab. But after that, all you gotta do is take that one little step inside, let her swing wide, send that nasty Mike Tyson uppercut up there. Ah, she was close. I like Tellez though. She only 19. She'll be back. She'll be back. So, but that's it though. That's all.
Yeah,
I just want to
yeah,
speak to that.
Real quick, I want
yeah.
to say
Oh, my
for
bad.
O'Shea Jones, one of our next fights, I would like to say O'Shea Jones. I do think it's time to move off, but if we looking for a fight, we looking for a scrap of some name value. You feel me? And of a person with a good resume, Franchon Cruz. Where the hell you at? I would like to see that.
You think she could take that jump though? Because O'Shea have to go up to what 168?
Maybe not. They can meet at 160. Franchon was at 160 at one point in time. She went up to 168 for the Clarissa fight. You feel me? That's you know.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that.
Clarissa
I ain't mad at that.
Clarissa like
Hey,
the Canelo of women's boxing. You feel me? You got to go get that check when it's presented. You understand? So I was
Yeah, that's true.
but they could definitely meet at 160. I think O'Shea Jones, Franchon Cruz, 160. Maybe we get us a new. It's women's boxing. They all fluctuate around different weights here and there. Like we see Michaela Mara was at 135 about 3 years ago. She at 154 now. You see what I'm saying? So it's women's boxing. The divisions are shallow. They float around. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Franchon Cruz and O'Shea Jones, man. I think that'd be a good fight. I know Franchon said that she would be interested in that fight at one point. So. Yeah, man, I like that fight. That's name value. That's legacy. Franchon she's up there. She's one of the greats of this women's boxing shit. So yeah. We need to go get that name on our resume for sure.
All right, but I will say this. This is a nuance that we discussed on our 2 cent panel. I didn't bring it up. It was another female to bring it up, and she was reluctant to bring it up. The thing was, she was saying the way she throw her punches. She throw her punches and it comes at a different trajectory. Basically, she was saying she got a big chest, and because she got a big chest, that's why a couple of those punches was not getting thrown at the proper trajectory. Now she bring it up.
She got some. She
bring it up. But that is the reality, though.
Hey, Clay shaking his head. Look at Clay shaking.
Hey, bro.
You know why?
It's so. Shout out to Dr. Eugene for even like we a bunch of men on this panel, right?
Clay wanted to touch this topic.
Yeah, I don't
No look, dog. This what got me with Clay yesterday, right? Clay, I bust out laughing when you over here telling Angelo, you talking about what her name? I think it was Lily, whatever the Misfits called. You talking about, hey Angelo, I don't know if you seen the lady when she was weighing in. She had on a little. You were like, yeah, this is pretty interesting, bro. I bust out laughing, yo. I'm like, Clay tripping, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Clay. I ain't gonna lie, to him, Clay. That's the reason I watched that fight. Hey, I said that's how you sell, though. That's how you get eyes on the fights, man.
It intrigued me. It caught my. I wasn't even thinking about it until I seen it. I was like, ooh.
I was like, this is different. Yeah, I'm like, this is different, big time different. Yeah, I said, oh, interesting.
I'm locked in.
The way
I
her
don't know about everybody else, but I'm locked in.
The way her body made up, that's why she has to throw wider punches than what she wants to throw, and that's why she gets a little bit tired. Like they was like, yeah, if you see her fight, she always leaning forward and all of that stuff. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes it just, it is what it is. She just has to work around that.
No, she
but that is a factor. That's a small factor, but that is a factor.
Listen, it might be a big factor. We don't know because at the end of the day, look, I'm being real, right? Like, and like I said, we're 4 dudes talking on the panel, and we don't want to be sitting here just talking about some woman's.
Hey, look, it was a female. It was a female live. And it was 2 females.
Right. And they'll know more than we will, right?
But we had the conversation lasted like 30 minutes. Like,
of course.
Because it wasn't like we were talking about nothing other than boxing, but we just had to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, listen, I don't know, right? I'm gonna say this though. It's part of the game, and when females come into the sport, that's part of that's what they bring. That's what they got to deal with, just like their monthly, right? Their monthly situation. Yeah. That's part of being an athlete. They got to deal with that as well. Hey, man, I don't know. I think they're better they're better off speaking on it than me, just not off the strength of like
But
it being like crossing lines, but just being like, I don't know what it's like to walk around and deal with.
But I
that.
will say though, when we think about it, all the top women's boxers, like on some, like, when we really, they are flat. They're pretty flat chested.
Alicia Baumgartner, Caroline, Clarissa, I mean Michaela Mayer. Yeah, you don't see him walking around there like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Word. Shout out,
I mean?
shout
That's
out
got
to
to be.
O'Shea Jones. She's blessed.
It is what it is, man. But guys, I want to creep into the last topic, and then I gotta go, man. And it's the topic that's really running the game right now. Everybody's talking about it, but day to day, it's evolving. And you know, I'm going to go into this Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis love triangle, right? And we'll even involve Bill Haney and Jay Prince in this as well, because I think in this chapter we're watching business being conducted, and we're seeing Jay Prince really taking some high ground on this and really moving like somebody who's been dealing with business for a long time. And Bill Haney might have met his match here with Jay Prince, right? Because normally Bill Haney seems to be able to edge out these competitions, right? Whether it's between him and Brian Norman Sr. or him and Tiafimo Sr. or, you know what I'm saying? All these different managers / promoters, you know, sometimes trainers that are involved in it. Bill's always able to get that edge, but I think Jay Prince is just showing another level to this game where looks like he's cornered Devin Haney, right? Where he's like, I got you, bro. You either going to do this or you're going to do that. Either way, as a unit, we're coming up, and either way, we're in the driver's seat here, and you don't really have that leverage that you used to having in these negotiations. So the latest news comes out that the WBO has now accepted the petition of Jay Prince on the level of making Keyshawn Davis a mandatory. See, there was two separate conversations going on with this, which was one part of the conversation was Keyshawn was number one now in the rankings with Devin Haney. But the other part of the conversation, which is just compounded interest for Devin Haney, is that now the WBO is screaming mandatory. In other words, there's now consequences on the back end of him taking this Shakur Stevenson fight. And the consequence is he's going to lose his belt. So now Devin Haney is being confronted with some real decisions here. Fight Keyshawn Davis, hold your belt, or forfeit, be stripped, vacate, whatever word you want to use to describe it, your current status as a WBO champion, and go and try to make this catchweight fight with Shakur Stevenson. So I'm going to present this to the panel right now and say, at this point in the game, what is Devin Haney supposed to do? What do you expect him to do? What makes the most sense at this point?
He's supposed to slide over to Zuffa and take the Richardson Hitchens fight. That's what he do.
Oh, he didn't went off world.
That's what that's low key what he's supposed to do, Trees. I ain't gonna lie, Trees. I ain't mad at that one. I like that one, Trees.
Want to play these games? Well, fuck it.
I like that one.
We hit the old switcheroo on you, and WBO. I've made belts popular. I'm about to go over here and make the Zuffa belt popular. I'm about to pull a Reyes on him. Where Angelo at? I know you would appreciate that.
Oh, trust me, Angelo would love to get on this one right here, man. He would love to get on this one. I don't know, man, but let me ask Dr. Eugene, what do you think about this situation as far as like how are you seeing this? And now with this new information, with the way the WBO is approaching it, where are you at with it?
I'm from Baltimore, but I ain't a tanker maniac, yo. But I think these motherfuckers, I think they all are boxing brothers. The original boxing brothers was Devin and Shakur. It wasn't Keyshawn. Now the thing is, I think it's pretty much reality TV, yo. It's boxing reality TV. I think they all friends. They all in cahoots. If you see Keyshawn every time he get on live and shit, if y'all peep it, when he be fucking talking like he mad, why the fuck you smiling? Like, right. If you mad, you not smiling. I'm like, man, nah, yo, this shit some bullshit. Y'all ain't falling. Don't believe the hype, yo. That's all I'm gonna say. I want them to fight, but eventually, I really don't care. Like, Devin Haney made a whole goddamn list. He only fought one person off that list, and that shit got disappeared. So the reality is, fight. I don't want to see nothing but fights. Like I like Tank because I'm from Baltimore, but keep it 1,000. I'm not sure if I watched his last 3 fights. What? I know how good he is. I want to see you against real competition. So I'm like, yo, I know this shit either gonna be a fucking a knockout or it's gonna be a win, but it's gonna be one or the other. So who gives a fuck about this bullshit? I think the Lamont shit I did watch because that's kind of a local rivalry. But other than that, like I ain't trying to see no Frank Martin and shit. Get the fuck out of here. But people still say, hey, Tank is fighting low risk, low reward. I mean, low risk, high reward fights. But the reality is he fought 3 motherfuckers that's on Haney list. The Haney didn't even fight yet. So I ain't trying to shit on I don't want to shit on nobody resume, but I will give context to some of the shit. And the reality is I don't give a fuck about none of them fighting nobody. As long as they fight somebody. That's all I want to see. I want to see a fight. And if it's good enough, I'll watch it. If it ain't good enough, I'm going to pass that shit along and watch something else.
If Devin Haney was to fight Blair Cobbs, you good with that?
No, I'm gonna watch something else.
No, I'm
happy in the ring, but I want to see him fight. I ain't gonna say
I was gonna say that though. See, Trees, the reason I wouldn't trip on that is because it done been like 8 months or so since Devin fought, and that's a good thing. What Eugene was just saying, because bro, my thing with these fighters is being big fight or bust. Even Shakur, after him fighting Tio, I would like rather, because I'm with Doc. I don't care if he don't, but I just want to see. I would prefer if he fought Devin. If not Devin, Shock. If not Shock, I wanted the Muay fight. But it's like, yeah, I'm so tired of these fighters being big fight or bust like that. That drives me crazy. Like with Devin, I feel like he only been out of the ring simply because he couldn't get a big fight. He said, Keyshawn, Keyshawn, I want little bro. Then I want big bro. You had Bill saying, Keyshawn, keep your promise. Then Devin, you got Bill going to the matchroom event. We trying to get Lewis Crocker. Then we can't get Lewis Crocker. Oh, we gonna go to Rolly. Rolly gave us a solid offer. Nah, it's not a solid offer, bro. Just fight. Literally, it's not realistic to only get big fights. And I don't know. I want to know who these fighters got this from. You look at Floyd, every fight wasn't a big fight. You look at Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, every fight was not a big fight. They stayed busy in between them fights, fighting them contenders and stuff. I don't know who these fighters got this from. I'm like, because boxing has never been only big fights. I genuinely just don't get it.
Hey, Toledo, I'm going to tell you. So, Devin Haney versus Blair Cobb, the talent gap is probably equal to Tank versus Pitbull. But people still watch it. If you are a fan of your fighter, you're gonna watch that motherfucker regardless. Like I'm a fan of Boots. I like Boots. I done seen him go against a lot of motherfuckers that ain't that fucking good. But guess what? I'm not watching them. I'm watching him. So give your fans the opportunity to see you. And either you're gonna outclass them or you're not. But they need to see that. And that's why I said they need a fight. And if it's good enough, I'll tune in. But if it ain't, I'm not. But just the fact of I'm not a fan. People who are fans, they're going to tune in regardless. So let them eat. Like, you starving motherfuckers. Like, your fans are literally starving while you sitting there trying to do negotiations. Fuck that shit. Get in there with somebody.
But I'm not, see, my thing is, though, God, no, anybody who know me know I don't fuck with Shakur. I'm not a Shakur guy by any means. Not even a little bit do I like what he got going on around this bitch. I'm not gonna lie. When they made that Shakur and Tio fight, I might have, Clay know how I felt.
Yep.
Clay know how I was right now.
Street was on here doing that shit again.
We didn't need to see that shit. That was like like I say, they had the 5 guys, the 6 rings, the 4, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Nobody ever asked for Shakur versus Teofimo ever. Nobody ever asked for that.
I know you want to see him versus Shock though.
I
see.
It depends. No, I'm saying I don't know. I don't know. I want to see Shakur fight Moritaya.
That's what I wanted too, though. Right. I wanted that too, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Clay, no, I was asking for the Moritaya. I remember because I had Clay cuss me. Who the fuck needs to see Moritaya fight? We don't know Moritaya, but we know Teofimo and all this.
Hey, what weight class, yo? 35 or 40?
35, man. 35.
I want him at 40 because Moritaya been saying he busting at the seams. He done did to me. Unlike Keyshawn, Moritaya actually has a belt. You feel me? Allow him to come. Keyshawn making demands with no. That's the one thing I don't like about the Devin Haney. My nigga, you don't have a belt anymore. You gave that up at 135. You came up to 140. You didn't fight nobody who had it. You fought.
Let your boxing brother steal your shine.
You
And your
feel
Yeah.
me? And then you
See,
didn't fight De Los Santos because you wanted. Because I'm still under. I don't care what nobody say. That was another Shakur thing to protect Shakur.
Yeah.
Keyshawn didn't fight De Los Santos because if he goes out and knocks out De
Keyshawn
Los
would have
Santos,
looked way better fighting De Los Santos, and they would.
What I'm saying, Doc. What I'm saying, Doc, is Doc. He would have made Shakur look bad as hell if Keyshawn goes out there and knocks him out after Shakur had the worst performance we've ever seen with our eye ever. That would have been a bad look.
I don't know Trees only because I think it was expected though. You know, it was expected because of the layoff and stuff. Like you had De Los Santos, he was out almost 2 years. He had a shoulder injury, blood clots, almost died, all kind of stuff. I ain't even like that De Los Santos took the fight. I was talking to people with his team and I'm like, bro, what made y'all take it? And they said straight up, De Los Santos, he needed the money. Shit.
Would you? Let me ask you, Lauren. Would you have looked at Shakur funny if, like I said, I know Shakur won on paper. God damn it, but we all lost. He might have won, but we all lost. Now let me ask: do you not think that you would have been looking at Shakur funny if Keyshawn went out there and dispatched of De Los Santos and as quick, like say he do De Los Santos like
no,
he did
not quick, not quick.
No, but I'm saying.
Round 12.
See, I get what he's saying, but see, I still wouldn't have because I'm saying, bro, I expected it. I was thinking a body shot because too, I knew for a fact. I want to say it was a crazy weight cut. Like that's what got me is the fact that Keyshawn missed weight, but De Los Santos. I think De Los Santos. I want to say I was told he cut from like 191. I don't know how he got his ass down to 35. And I remember I asked De Los Santos himself. He told me he's still at 35 because he said he make it so easy. Because I said you should move up. He was like, bro, I make it easy. I was like, well, shit, if you make it easy, I got to shut the fuck up then. I take your word for it, you know. But that was my thing, Trees. I literally expected. I said, bro, Keyshawn is gonna knock De Los Santos fucking duodenum out. Y'all don't know what your duodenum is. That's a small piece of your intestine that connects. Like I was like, he is gonna knock his soul out of his body because of the cut, and then of course because Keyshawn bigger, you know. So when Keyshawn missed weight, I myself was disappointed, but you know,
I would have had to see it. I would have had to see it to believe.
No, I'm with you.
Like I'm gonna tap in and just say this, right? Because we are about to land this. I gotta move around.
You good, Clay.
I think that Devin. I don't listen. I'm just being honest. At some point or another, as a pundit in this space, I've got no dog in the race. I ask myself, why are you pushing for Shakur right now?
Mm-hmm.
A fighter who's expressed he's not interested. He's not interested. That's going Sunday is exactly what I was thinking. I need to get a spot on this quality panel. Oh, Dr. C. Oh, next one, brother. But I appreciate you. I'm about to pull up. Thank you for the $10, man. But for me, it's Shakur. I don't care about because right now what we're dealing with in the space is a lot of people are looking at Shakur and they're trying to say what he can do. Right? They're saying that man is big. Look at him. He's not that much bigger than this guy. He's not that much smaller than that guy. He should be able to do this. He should be able to do that. Meanwhile, Devin Haney is a guy who worked 135 until he almost died. It looked like on the scale, right? He went to 140. He went to 140, and he stayed at 135 so long he couldn't even compete at 140 because he couldn't even compete. You know what I'm saying? He went to 147. He went to 144 first, fought Jose Ramirez, then went to 147. This is a guy who has managed his career and moved accordingly to what benefits him throughout his whole career. He's not the guy who can throw shots at Shakur Stevenson and say that Shakur Stevenson should jump from 140 into a 147 fight when he's had one fight at 140, no matter what Shakur said. Because a fighter can definitely sit there and say, I could beat Devin at 147. I could beat anybody at 147. Doesn't mean that that's where he's going to campaign at. Right now, he's campaigning at 135, 140. You're working this hard to make this quote-unquote super fight with Shakur Stevenson. But on the other hand, you have Keyshawn Davis, who's done everything he can. Keyshawn Davis and Jay Prince, forget what they say. They moved in a way to where you can see they want to make this fight with Devin. People trying to act, Keyshawn fight. Really? He walked up to Bill Haney and confronted Bill Haney and got a confirmation from Bill Haney that he was going to make a fight. You promise? You remember that? That happened. And then they said, well, when that fight was over with, he called out for Lewis Crocker. He called out for Lewis Crocker because he knew Devin Haney wasn't interested in making the fight with him. All right. Devin was talking about Ryan Garcia. He's talking about Lewis Crocker. He was talking about Rolly Romero. He wasn't talking about Keyshawn Davis. So what did Keyshawn do? He told Jay Prince, by any means, make that fight happen. That's the fight I want next. He was not happy on fighting Nahir Albright. He did what he had to do to be in compliance with Top Rank. In the background, Jay Prince puts him in the sanctioned body rankings for the WBO with a #1 spot, and then activates a mandatory to where Devin Haney's belt is on the line. I don't think there's nothing left for Keyshawn Davis and Jay Prince to do to make it clear that that's the fight they want next. Shakur Stevenson on the other side is sitting here like, you're chasing me down, but you're trying to dictate the terms and say that I need to come to 147 and fight you. That's crazy to me. So finally, Devin is given an opportunity to make a decision. Do I sit here and fight at 147, stay in my division in a weight class where I said I will never cut weight again, I will never do catch weights, I will never deplete myself again? Or do I go against everything I told everybody I stand on and do this catch weight fight with Shakur? And it leads me to believe or ask, why? Why fight the guy who arguably people can say you're pulling up to fight you when you have Keyshawn Davis inside your division, and now there's a consequence on it? You could lose your belt. What are we left to talk about?
Because you don't get more. He don't get more credit for beating Keyshawn than he would for beating.
It don't matter about credit. It matters about his belt.
Listen, you just heard what I said, dude. Slide over there. I'm not a belts guy. I believe.
I agree with Trees there. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there, Trees. And I was gonna say, see, that was my big thing. This is what I want to say, Clay, to kind of finish it up from my end, and I'll let y'all, spill, because I know you got to deal. See, my thing, Clay, was all in all what you just said. Because I remember I asked Bill myself, and you know how Bill do? He started talking to me. I said, Bill, how you gonna put this list together? I said, you got 35 and 40 pounders on here. Because what you said, Clay, that obligation that they have to come up to me. I'm like, you can't call out somebody and they not calling you out, because at that sense, they have all the leverage. You can't say Shakur immediately before he fought Tio, like you were saying earlier, Clay, I'm gonna move up and all, which we know is the Top Rank thing, so that's why he didn't even drop the belt, because Keyshawn wouldn't have been able to fight for it any damn way. But it's like, I'm going back to 35. I'm gonna be in between 35 and 40. Then at that point, how can Devin say, okay, well, I want Lil Bro first? Oh, well, Keyshawn just talked because he moved up. Bill, okay, well, I don't want to talk to Jay. Okay, well, then he $1 million worth of game. Okay, well, I'm going to talk to Jay Prince, Keyshawn, because you bad for business. Then Keyshawn, like you said, Clay, they put themselves in position, because everybody said Keyshawn was pump faking. Put themselves in position. Now he the mandatory. Now they mad at Keyshawn for doing what they asked him to do. And you see, Clay, this is why I said everybody, Trees, because you know I'm a Shakur guy. He put his foot in his mouth. You know why? Because he said, Devin, meet me at 144. Devin said, okay, 144, we got to fight? Yeah. But then Devin said, Keyshawn, you need to put yourself in position. Keyshawn, he put himself in position. Bill, Keyshawn, you need to keep your promise. Okay, well, Keyshawn keeping his promise. Everybody stepped on each other's toes. That was the problem, so that's just what got me. But all in all, I'm with you, though, Clay. You cannot be up high, weights above, and you be dictating everything with everybody below. Tank done said plenty of times he not going back to 140, so you can't have Tank on no hit list when he done said all in all he not coming up past 135 again. You can't have Shakur down below and he's saying the same thing. Like, it's crazy. That's why I'm like, I genuinely don't understand it. So I'm with you though, Clay. It ain't nothing you can do, ain't nothing you can say.
It seems like it's part of the design at some point or another. It's the strategy, because we got to remember, man, Devin Haney's had a weight bully jacket on him ever since he was at 135. His detractors have sat there and said, this guy is a big dude. He goes up 25 pounds on fight night. This is crazy. I've had people be like, this dude's a 160-pound fighter, bro. He's not even supposed to be at 135. So I've never been the type of dude to subscribe to that, right? I always say, if you can make the weight, that it is what it is. But at some point or another, when it gets to this point, to where literally at this point, you're focusing all your energy on a fighter who's campaigning at 2 weight classes beneath you. Maybe you can say 140 because he's become a champion, but we all have to acknowledge that Shakur said, I'm going back to 135. It was the WBC that kind of changed that up a little bit by stripping him, but he's never you know what I'm saying, spoke about necessarily going to 147 next. He said what he could do. He said he'll eventually get there. He said he could compete up there. But why are you focused on what is perceived to be the smaller fighter as the fight you want next when you have a fighter who's moved up into your division, put himself in your sanctioning body rankings, made himself a mandatory for you, and it seems like you're not intrigued by that. It seems like you're moving away from that. 140, even your team is saying that, right? Even Mickey Bay and Bill Haney have communicated, we much would have rather moved in another way. We didn't want Devin to cut the weight and come down to 144. So at some point, if you keep pushing and beating this dead horse, then it's going to come up in conversation, which is going to be, are you trying to weight bully Shakur right now rather than wait for him to come up to your division and be a real welterweight and fight you on more of an even playing field? Or do you see some advantage in fighting this guy who's, I don't even think arguably smaller than you, because he's campaigning in two divisions that you can't make the weight to get into?
I just
so you're bigger than him.
With this Shakur speak, because God, like I say, I find it funny how when we talking about Oshaki getting the Shakur fight, it's cool for Oshaki to go up to 140. You feel me? But when we talking about Shakur fighting Mordecai, y'all telling me that y'all don't want Mordecai to come. He can't come up to 140, but Oshaki can. But y'all want him.
No, he can.
But he want to go down to 135 when Mordecai has literally been on the airwaves telling you, "Nigga, I'm busting at the seams. I want to go up to 140."
I like that, Trees. I think he can, but I think Shock just kind of put his foot in his mouth too by saying I come to 40. So I'm with you there.
But Shakur said you talked
you're saying that about
position.
You're saying that about Raymond Mordecai, but Raymond Mordecai is about to fight Robinson Conceição to defend his IBF title, and he's talking about unifying. His conversation is talking all about 135 conversation.
I ain't heard him say nothing about this. I heard him say he busting at the seams to come to one. He want to go to 140. I heard.
So why is he saying that 135 then? Why fight Robinson Conceição? Why not come up to 140 and make a fight happen with Delgado and fight for the vacant title and leverage that IBF title, or jump into why are you at 135?
We got to see the fight because he wants the Shakur fight. Who the fuck is Delgado? That's what I'm saying.
No. Clay's saying that because Delgado, that's Shakur mandatory now.
Where?
This is last fight at 35.
That's Shakur on the WBO. He the WBO 140 and IBF. No, he both. He got a decision to make. Yeah, he got a decision he got to make. He got to choose to go which route. That's why Ben Shalom said they think he gonna go the WBO route. So Ben Shalom already been in contact with Eye of the Tiger to get Adam Azim and Artur Arslanoff done for the IBF bill.
Right.
Yeah, they just said that this past week. Yeah.
Nah, it's about that time. I gotta go, man. Let me acknowledge the super chat real quick here. Dr. C Jr. in the building, man. I appreciate the $10. Says I need to get a slot on this quality panel. Boxing discourse on a Sunday is exactly what I was seeking. We appreciate you, man. I'm gonna try to make this show on Sunday regular. This is gonna be put into the rotation for this conversation, for this discourse. You know what I'm saying? Between real panelists, by the way. I'm not really trying to deal with the ignorant shit. But as far as this conversation, this was a great panel today. Great perspective, great takes, man. And obviously things are going to be developing quickly during the week. Remember, guys, we're on Tuesdays as well and Thursdays. I think I'm going to put a Friday in there. I don't know. It's going to end up being every day, damn it, right?
I see he about to be every day. Man,
well, I mean, real with you. The reason why I want to do Fridays because I would like to do a similar show to this one before the fights, right? Friday before a Saturday fight. And then Sunday, obviously, an opportunity to kind of give our opinion on what we saw on Saturday. And then Tuesday and Thursday is my regular show where I'm just covering regular news. That's the one where I have Angelo's on there and Ray Davis, and we're talking boxing. So I don't know, bro. It might end up being damn near 5 days a week.
But as long as y'all talking about Albert Bell beating on Andy Cruz, that's the only thing that
it's about to be that time. It's about to be that time. We're getting closer to it. But I think the next show is probably going to be more. But we're going to start dialing into this Jerron Boots and Xander Zayas as we're 2 weeks out right now from that fight happening. So it's about that time that we start building on that as well.
ATP, appreciate it.
Hold on real fast. Hey, let me drop the two things real fast. Hey, the first thing is what I'll be saying about they call B-side divas because Haney has a list of 10 people, but how many of them people is he the A-side to? So you can't dictate
all them people.
Shit. Of course not. Boots and Tank, come on, yo. He the A-side to him. He gotta go to either 35. Man. He gotta go to either 35 or he gotta go to 54.
He A-side.
Come on, yo.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Dr. Eugene, just for whatever it's worth, even though visually I think we all can confirm that he should be the A side, but he hasn't been able to pull off these fights. These fights haven't gone. The A side hasn't been able to get the offers out there. He was over at the with Rolly Romero trying to get the PBC to pay for something. He wasn't over there bringing Rolly Romero to his side. He was over there and he turned himself into the B side over there. Ryan Garcia is like, you're screaming to fight Ryan Garcia and trying to get him to test. Ryan's like, I ain't got to fight you. I'm going to go do something else. So that A side didn't work over there. You try to leverage the A side with Lewis Crocker.
Shakur made him go to 44.
Right. So, and then Core's the A side there. And then with Lewis Crocker, Eddie Hearn was like, bro, your price point too high. We're not paying you for that.
He gave Ryan visual leverage. He fucked that up when he did this. He shit like Dev, don't do it. I've been on that. You feel me? He fucked up a long time. He should have never done that. But he's A-side to Boots. He A-side to Shakur, in my opinion. He A-side to most of these guys. But like I said, I know Clay about to get up out of here, man.
Yeah, we definitely out of here, man. I appreciate it.
The last thing I wanted to say, yo, boxing right now is full of two things, yo. Smoke screens and broken dreams. We need real fight. Right?
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, Dr. Eugene. Hey, everybody in the building, man. I appreciate you in the chat. Hit the like button, support the grind, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. This was a great live here, great breakdowns, great takes on boxing. Until the next one, you already know what it is. It's your boy Rain. It's at ATP Combat Media Show. And at this point, we out.
They try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You try to aim for the top like this and you're in your element with a fight like this. And they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forced through the fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding. You do as you told. I don't work.